Hey, hey, hey. Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is February 6th, 2024. We're back. Welcome back, everyone. Great to have you. Great to see you. Great to be with you. Thank you guys for hanging with us today. Today we are looking into the Justin Mohn case. What the hell happened there? There's a lot to talk about with that one. Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you're all having a great start to your day. And I say, as always, let's get this show on the road. Here we go. Here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are. I hope it's good for you because it's great for me to be here with you. It is so wonderful to see you all here again. I do appreciate you all so very much. Thank you for joining me. Hope everybody's having a great day today. Hopefully it gets better as we hang out throughout this afternoon, leading into this evening, folks. So thank you for being here with us. As you all can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about this crazy case of Justin Mohn. Gentleman decapitated his father and put that on YouTube. So what the hell? So I'm a little curious. I figured you guys might be too. We kind of have the same taste in music, guys, if you know what I'm saying. So we're going to be talking about that today, checking it out and seeing what the hell is going on with that one out of Pennsylvania. That's where Willie Boy lives, is over in PA. Pretty close to me, too. So we'll see what is going down with that scenario. Something a little bit different to talk about, and definitely some insane stuff going on, guys. So thank you all for joining me to hear about it today. I appreciate you all so very much. Come on in, grab a cheer. A cheer, yeah. Grab a chair, whatever that means. Grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Come on in, sit down, have a conversation with me if you will. I appreciate it. Please, guys, on your way in that door, if you don't mind, hit that like button. Leave me a little bit of DNA there so I can find you later on if we need to. We got 33 beautiful people in here, guys, and we got 20 likes. So what's going on with that? Come on. We got to make that match if we can. I appreciate it so very much. We got to get this out in that algorithm. Thank you, moderators, for joining me today. I appreciate you all so very much. You do beautiful things for me. If you weren't here, I wouldn't be here. So thank you, mods, for joining me. Everybody in the chat, if you will, please be respectful of the moderators just as much as you would with me. I appreciate that so very much. Guys, once again, as always, with everything we talk about in this channel, everything is 100% alleged and purely speculation, guys. This is all my opinion and yours. So let's remember that when we talk about it, if we will. Come on in and grab a chair. Let's see who is joining us today, guys. And if you feel like it, throw in there where you're joining us from. I always like to see where everybody's tuning in from. So far, it looks like Miss Kelly Barrison is gracing us with her lovely presence. Thank you, Miss Kelly. Welcome back. Good to see you. War Eagles in the house. What is going on? Good to see ya. Truth Nation Uncensored. Willie's in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you today. Lisa Vallejo, welcome back to you. Great to have you. Great to see you. Tina B, welcome back to you. Great to see you on the mic. My brother Mikey's in the house. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Glad to know you're good. Haven't seen you in a minute. Proud Mary Vibes. Great to see you again. Thank you for joining us. John Boy Cats back in the house. What's going on? Good to see you. Tom Boy Charm. What's going on, sis? Thank you for joining us today. Great to have you here. Deborah Thompson, welcome back to you. Gray Pearl, great to see you. Great to have you here again. Thank you for joining us. Rose in the house. What's going on? What's happening? What's good? Good to see you. Let me see here. Who else do we have jumping in here with us? Hope Floats. What's going on, Miss Val? Good to see you. Good to have you here. Been too long. That's right, brother. It's been way too long. Missed you so very much, my friend. More than you know. Josie West is in the house. What's going on, Josie? Good to see you. Good to have you here. Let me see. Anybody else we got jumping in here? Ashley 421. Thank you for joining us, Ash. Great to see you. Mark and Betty, what is going on, my friend? Good to see you today. Thank you for joining us. Friends, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. MIA, not anymore, because I see you. What's going on with you today, dear? Thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure. Come on in, guys. Grab a seat. I think I got everybody here now. Everybody's name, at least, that I see. Come on in, guys. Please, if you will. No memento. Let me turn that stuff down so it doesn't wake up the neighborhood, because it can be loud. All right, that's good. Come on in, guys, and grab a seat, if you will. Again, like I said, today, guys, we're looking into the Justin Mohn case, which is pretty interesting. I was kind of surprised. All right, let's get this up here. Come on, I'll give everybody a chance for some people to get in here so we don't have to go back and do it twice, of course. Again, I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Every single one of you guys. Because you deserve nothing but that. The very best. Because, why? You're the beautiful people. That's right. All right. Come on. Just give me a minute here, guys. I'm going to wait just a few, see how many more people we get in here before we get rolling. Again, we got 39 people in here, guys. Let's make those likes match if we can. Sorry about that. Let me see here. Good Lord Almighty. Miss Kells has been a member here for 7 whole months. That is awesome, Kells. Thank you so much for being here with us in this community and this family. We appreciate you so very much. so very much. So thank you for joining us. Illuminati's in the house. What's going on, sis? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you. Oh, you're going to find out about it now, Mark and Betty. It's a crazy story. Crazy story. Again, thank you, Kels. We appreciate you so much and are absolutely floored to have you as part of this family. Thank you so much for being here. Salty Grace, welcome back. Good to see you. Miss Clue is in the house. Good to see you, sis. Thank you for joining us again. Come on in, everybody. Go grab a chair, if you will. It is great to have you here, Miss Josie. So great to have you here. I'm glad that you love to be here. Appreciate that very much. Shaboom. All right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, again, I got some sad news this morning. My wife was on her way out the door, and I found out that Toby Keith passed away. For those of you that aren't familiar with him, he's a country singer, great country singer. I was a huge fan of his. I'm not a monstrous fan of country music, but I loved his stuff. And I just found out last week. I think I was talking to Clue, and I was looking through YouTube. I was talking to her, and I'm like, what happened to Toby Keith? Because he had looked so skinny. Because he was a big, muscular guy for a long time, and I saw a picture of him. He looked horrible, and then I hear this morning he passed. It's like, damn, all the good ones are gone. Very sad stuff. So, rest in peace, brother. God bless you. You gave us some great music while you were here, and I hope you're not having any more suffering where you went, sir. You will be missed. That's a fact. That is a fact. Come on in, guys. Grab a chair if you will. I know this isn't a severely popular case, but we cover all aspects of true crime, and this one I think needs to be heard. It involves YouTube. So that's kind of why we're looking at this one too. Also to show you guys, there's some crazy things going on out there. Yes, stomach cancer is horrible. It is very. You ain't lying, Kelly. This case is loco. That's an understatement, hon. That is an understatement. There's some loco people out there nowadays going on. Just while we're waiting for some more peeps to show up, just to give you guys some updates. It looks like Sarah Boone, her seventh attorney, guys. 7, not 5, not 6, not 8, but 7 attorneys is asking to be dismissed at this point. This woman has had 7 attorneys. What the hell? It's time. I think we watched a hearing on the last time that she asked for this to happen. The judge said, okay, we can do this, Miss Boone, but at this point, if this happens again, we're going to have to look at this in a different way. Talk about loco. That is crazy, crazy, crazy. I heard about the Crumply case, that there was a verdict coming. Yes. Let's see. Great Pearl says, what's up, Matt Emlo? How we doing, bro? Good to see ya. I know, Rose. 7th. It's crazy, crazy. I've seen Disney's Inside Out. You look like the character called Anger with. That is hilarious. I love that show. My granddaughter loves it. Thank you, Gray. I love that. That's awesome. That is awesome. No, 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 no. She is. She's out there, Josie. She really is out there. That's awesome. Thank you, Gray. That kind of made me feel good. I don't know why. Florida's finest for you. That's right. Mikey's here. Strange Suspicions in the house. Welcome, Pia. Thank you for joining us. Well, is it Pia or Pia and Bob? I appreciate seeing you in here. You had a great first show yesterday, guys. If you have not checked out Strange Suspicion yet, please go do so. If one of the mods could please drop a link for that, I would greatly appreciate it. I joined her yesterday. Cluminati joined yesterday. There's a few of us up there joined her for her first show to give her a little bit of support, and it turned out pretty good. I think she did a great job and will continue to do a great job covering the things that she covers. So very awesome. Absolutely, Pia. And tell Bob I said, hey, what's happening, brother? North Carolina Mountain Man's in the house. What's going on, bro? Good to see you. Virginia Wolf, well, welcome back. Great to have you here. Thank you for joining us today. All right, all right, all right. Let's see here. Beer for my horses. I don't think there wasn't a song that Toby did that I didn't like. And I'm a metal fan. You guys know the stuff I listen to. When we've had our music streams, you guys have heard my choices. I'm a Slipknot fan, for God's sakes. But Toby Keith had a sound and a feel to him that I think just about anybody would have loved. Okay. Even if you don't like that kind of music, which I was not a huge fan. My wife loves country. You know, she's from Alabama. She's a Southern girl. She loves that stuff. So I kind of got into it, listening to some of that because of her. And I picked up on him and I was just like, God, this guy's good. You know, he was just good. He gave everybody that good old boy feeling, you know. Right. Exactly, man. And the dude, he was super talented. I'll say that much. You know, every song he ever had was a good song. I did not hear one song that he did that I couldn't say was a good song. I'm sorry. Welcome, Miss Pamela Johnston. It is so wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Great to have you here. Let's see. Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue Red Solo Cup, beer for my horses. I ain't as good as I once. Well, everything he ever had, I loved his songs. I mean, there was not one bad song that he had. You know. Welcome, Miss Teresa. Shelly's in the house. Welcome back to you. Great to see you. Good to have you here. He did do a rap song. That is right. Pia. He did it. I told you, he's great. Never Smoke Weed with Willie Again. I love that one. That one was great. Miss Pamela went skiing for the weekend. That's awesome. I hope you were safe. Skiing is dangerous. Very dangerous. I used to snowboard. That was back when I skateboard. I was a skateboarder too, so you know the two kind of went hand in hand for me. I couldn't even stand on a snowboard right now if I wanted to. I'd be scared to death I'd break my back. A Libra's Moon. Toby at the 2023 People's Choice Awards was very good, but you could tell he was very weak. Yeah, it's sad. That was a very talented man. Thank you for that, Libra. Yeah, good to hear, Pamela. Good to hear. Guilty. The Crumbly case is a guilty verdict. That's very good. Good stuff. Thank you, Gray. Appreciate that. All right, let's check this back here. Come on in, guys. We got 62 peeps in the house and 26 likes. Once again, what? No kick flips for me. No. I can't even stand on it. There's no kick flips, no ollies, no curbs, no grinds, no nothing. I will watch it. My son skates now. Like he just said, I skied, snowboarded, and skateboarded all at once. What acid trip were you on, bro? Because that's all I can think that would be. Guilty on 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. Hey, there you go. Good. We got some real justice going there, that's for sure. Good stuff. I miss them days when I could go snowboarding and skateboarding. God, take care of your body, guys. That's all I can say. Do not hurt your back or your neck because it's. Miss Irene clobbers in a house. Yes, it is very sad. Every time I get a commercial, it takes you back to the beginning of the live. What is that about? That's weird. Welcome, Victoria. Great to see you. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, that story is definitely a strange story, Eagle. Honestly, if you guys haven't followed the Crumbly case, I didn't get into it in here just because I didn't have time. But it is very strange, a very, very strange situation. Come on in, guys. We got 58 peeps with 35 likes. Let's make it happen. Please get this out in the algorithm if we can. I understand the slippery slope this could cause, President, but the jury got this one right, in my opinion. I can agree on that. I can, from what I know about it. It does set a scary precedent. We got a story about Willie, and my uncle worked at a truck stop here as a mechanic on Willie Nelson's bus. Pulled in, my uncle changed the tire middle. That's pretty awesome. I actually sat at an intersection next to Toby Keith's tour bus in Birmingham, Alabama. I couldn't see him, but it was his bus. I imagine he was on there. Thank you, Strange. I appreciate that. Or PI. I hate calling people by their channel names if I know their name. Welcome, Taxi Slut. Great to see you. Great to have you here. That's an awesome story, Teresa, by the way. Doodlebug's in the house. Hey. There's my doodle. Good to see you, dear. Absolutely. Jennifer Crumbly found guilty 4 counts of voluntary manslaughter. That's a great one. That one is well deserved, in my opinion. Welcome back, Doodle. Always a pleasure to see you. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I do want to throw out a shout out real quick to another creator out there, set of creators, I should say. I think they do a great job with what they do. I talked about them just a little bit yesterday because it's something that they were talking about as well. I don't know if you guys have checked out the Thought Riot podcast. Check them out, guys. It's a younger couple. I don't know if they're together, but they're a couple of people. I think they do a great job. They're very down to earth, to the point, and they make sense. So I don't think you guys would be disappointed at all. So please, if you can, please check out Thought Riot Podcast. They do a really great job over there, guys. Please. Again, another link, if we can get that one to drop, please do, if you will. Mods, I appreciate that. As well as Strange Suspicions link. I would appreciate that as well. So very much. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling she'd be found guilty as well. I was kind of like, when you followed some of that just to watch it, it came off as if that was just going to be the way it was. We got 67 people, 39 likes. Come on, guys. Let's do this. They want parents of troubled kids to lock up their guns. I'm going to tell you, listen, if you have kids in your house, I think you should keep your guns under a certain point of safety and security as it is. I do here. But if you have any children that are, if you know there's not something right, if they're troubled in some sense, please, guys, just use a little extra safety just to ensure that there wouldn't be any problems. You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion. You don't have to, take my words for anything, but I do think it's an important thing. There we go. Thank you, War Eagle. There is Strange Suspicions link. Check it out, if you will. The other one was Thought Riot. War Eagle, thank you so much, hon. Yeah, Thought Riot. They put on a great show, guys. Great podcast. I love them, love them. Yes, I agree, Clue. They should definitely lock up their guns if you got small children around, because you never know what could happen. Exactly, Kels. That's my point. You never, ever know. And it only takes a second. Only takes a second. Thank you for that, Eagle. Again, guys, check out Strange Suspicion. She had her first show yesterday. She did a great job. Great job. I went over there to support her along with Illuminati. Just to show her that as a community, we all support each other in the best ways that we can. That's how we do this, guys. And again, Thought Riot podcast, guys, check them out. They do a great job as well. Love them. I think they're so down to earth. They get great points. They do a great job. So go check them out as well. Miss Kim Marin's in the house. Welcome back. Great to see you. Great to have you here, Kim. Always a pleasure. Miss Kim's been here for a long time, guys. Long time. And I am super excited when I see these people that have been here for so long. So very, very excited. Oh, thank you so much, Strange. Or Pia. Sorry, I keep doing that. I appreciate that very, very much. I'm talking about you, Miss Kim. I just seen you. Thank you. I appreciate that very, very much. And I appreciate you guys dropping by to hang out a little bit too as we talk about this case. I'm going to get rolling here in a minute. I'm just giving everybody a little bit more of a chance to get here so I don't have to go back and start at the beginning again and nobody misses anything. That's all. Oh, yeah. Toby Keith passed away, sadly, very sadly. Very, very talented country singer. Well, he was categorized as country, but I think he was more rockabilly, maybe you could call it. Yes, I think it was a rockabilly. That's right. Whose channel? Oh, I'm sorry, Kim. Strange Suspicion and Thought Riot podcast is the other one. They do great job, both of them. Very much so. Yes. Thank you again for that. If you forget, guys, it doesn't cost a cent. But please, please, on your way through the door, leave me a little bit of DNA on that like button. I would greatly appreciate that, if you will. So very much. Yeah, he had stomach cancer, very sadly. Like I said, I was going through YouTube last week. Thank you so much, P. I appreciate that. I was going through YouTube last week and I seen a picture and I'm like, that looks like him. What the hell? I mean, real stinking, right? Come on. You guys can still hear me. This is freezing again. Come on. Sorry, guys. My internet keeps freezing. Okay. I have a text supposed to be coming out here. I don't know what's going on with it, but it keeps freezing. Is that better, Clue? The sound better? Yes, no, maybe so. A fast. Yeah, I know, Doodle. All right. I'm gonna apologize ahead of time until this check gets here to figure this out. My internet's been going in and out like this for 3 days. So if it happens, guys, I'm so sorry. The Munchkin from the Wizard of Oz. You know I can do that stuff, right? Like this one. How does this one sound? Do. Follow the yellow brick road. Hey. Yay. Back on prednisone. Oh no. No prednisone for me. And of course we have this one too. Hey. Welcome, Chad Button. Good to see you. Good to have you here. Yes, King Charles has cancer as well. It's a bad thing, you guys. Very bad thing. Lost my best friend to it. 41 years. Horrible stuff. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Come on in, guys. Go grab a seat. Let me know if I'm too loud or not loud enough. Let's see. Victoria said, scares me because my landlord, my ex-landlord and friend have it. After she survived lung cancer, brain cancer, all back to back. She's on chemo for the rest of her life now. Wow. God bless her. Seriously, God bless her, Victoria. That's horrendous. I've known a lot of people that have dealt with it. It's not cool at all. That's awesome, Kels. It does. It's very weird to call him king. I'm so used to calling him Prince Charles. It's not even funny, but lolly, lolly, lolly. Oh wow. Hello, hello. Oh wow. That's crazy, Victoria. Well, God bless. I'm glad you're doing okay now. Please keep on that and stay safe, please. All right, 77 peeps in here with 47 likes. Come on. Let's make it match, guys. Let's get this out in that algorithm. That does nothing but help me out. It helps me to come to you guys every day. Thank you so much, Tomboy. I appreciate that very much. The sad thing is, Josie, is he just became king and he's already, that's not cool. Let me check that email real quick, guys, and I guess we'll get rolling with everything. I think we got just about everybody that's going to be here today. Oh, wow. Good job on that, Tomboy. Very good job. Those look great. I don't know if you guys, Tomboy does a lot of crafting type stuff, and she makes these things. I think these things are cool the way she does this. Check it out. Willy Wonka and his favorite Oompa Loompa. You know what Oompa Loompas are. Oompa Loompa Loompa doo. Hey, hey. Yeah, hey. Yeah, there you go. All right, all right. Pretty good job there, Tomboy. I appreciate you showing me. Very nice stuff. I know she does a great job with that stuff. Mr. Chad Button dropping the first super sticker of the day. Thank you so much for that, brother. Appreciate that so very much. More than you know, my friend. See, I told you, Tomboy, you do a great job with those. You should sell them. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That was with my best friend. We were friends for 41 years. Started in first grade. She was one of the strongest people I ever met in my life, and it took 1 year, not even a full year. It was very sad. But yeah, it's bad stuff. Oh, you're okay, Kels. I will. If you don't mind sending me an email, Victoria, I definitely check it out. Canal Missing Project. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just write that down. That way you don't have to worry about that. Okay, we're all set at that point. Just to know, I don't know much about it. Well, we're going to find out today, Kim. It's pretty crazy here. Thank you, War Eagle. Appreciate you very much. Damn, sorry to hear that, Kim. If anybody would like to become part of the family, join the sauce and become a meatball. thus becoming a special Dago family member, there's a link that'll help you do it if you should choose to. Definitely don't have to, but if you choose to, that's how you do it. Thank you for that. Lord, sorry about the buzzing, guys. All right, well, let's see. Let's get this show on the road. Wonderful to have you all here. Again, thank you for joining me today for this. You are appreciated so very much. All right, let me see here. 1 second, guys. I'll start you off, as I always do, with the breaking news about it when it happened 6 days ago. We might, Eagle, I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see how it goes with this. Oh, thank you, Victoria. It's wonderful to have you as a meatball, Josie. I'm sorry to hear that, Tomboy. I know that's probably rough. All right, guys. 1 second here. And here we go.
We do have breaking news just into CNN. We want to warn you, this is very disturbing. A Pennsylvania man was charged with murder and abuse of a corpse after police say he posted a YouTube video in which he claims to show his father's decapitated head while ranting about the Biden administration and the border crisis. Now, this video circulated online for hours before being taken down. The father of the individual.
Trigger warning, just in case anybody's not comfortable with this kind of stuff. If you'd like to step out for a moment, it is a little bit, yeah. So just to give a heads up. And Michael 007, I was just thinking about you. It's wonderful to see you, sir. Thank you for joining us. I was worried about you. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're doing okay. But again, guys, trigger warning, this can get a little bit gross. Some people can't handle that, so just a heads up.
Was a federal employee. His son called him a traitor. With us now, former FBI Deputy Director and CNN Senior Law Enforcement Analyst Andrew McCabe and CNN's Danny Freeman. Danny, I want to start with you. This is breaking right now. What more do we know about what actually happened here?
Yeah, Phil, and just to state the obvious, obviously, as you said, this is an incredibly disturbing story. I watched part of this video last night, and it's one of those things that it's an image you just can't get out of your head. Yesterday, this is when this all started. This video was posted on YouTube. The suspect here is Justin Mohn. He's 32 years old. He's from Middletown Township in Pennsylvania. That's in Bucks County. And as you said, this video contains a number of rantings, basically, about the Biden administration, about the border. At one point, even declaring himself the acting president under martial law. But then there's this horrific moment when he appears to show the head of his deceased father on camera, saying that his father was a traitor to the country because he was a federal employee. Now, that video, like you said, Phil, stayed up for a long time. Eventually, later into the evening, YouTube was able to take it down. Even X seemed to be taking down videos that people were just reposting and reposting. But then in the evening, police were able to apprehend Mr. Mohn about 100 miles away from his home in Bucks County in Fort Indiantown Gap in Pennsylvania. Again, that's 100 miles to the west of where he was and where this crime is alleged to have been committed. Now, I will say, just to give you a sample of one of the things that Mr. Mohn said, I'm quoting here from the video, he said in part, "The federal government of America has declared war on its citizens and the American states. America is rotting from the inside out as far-left woke mobs rampage our once prosperous city." Now, still, the thing that law enforcement are trying to make clear at this moment is that this suspect is in custody. The threat to the larger community is over right now, but truly a community on edge, you can imagine, after hearing this news. We're going to hear a press conference from the Bucks County District Attorney later on today on this subject.
Andy, this video it references President Biden. It was up on YouTube, as I understand it, for several hours before it was taken down. Talk about the bigger picture here, if you could.
Sure. Yeah. So the bigger picture is extremely concerning, I think, as do most security officials as we go into what will be an incredibly heated political season. Obviously, this guy, we don't know. We're waiting on additional facts from the investigation to understand his specific motives. You can make some assumptions based on his claims in the video that he's been motivated by politics. But I think that the bigger picture here is that this is another example of the fact that the kind of overheated, deeply politicized, extreme rhetoric that you hear sometimes in this country from politically elected officials and leaders actually has an impact on these marginalized people with extremist views who might be, because of their mental illness or their disturbance or their unbelievably strong beliefs in some of these things, driven to embark in acts of violence. Some of the things that he has said on the video, allegedly referring to woke mobs and things like that, that's not dissimilar from rhetoric that you hear from some politicians that we've heard recently in the primary season from some folks specifically. So this kind of language has an effect on the extremist, on the most extreme, most vulnerable, most potentially dangerous part of our population. And I think it's something that most security officials are really concerned about. Poppy, like the odds are, if we experience political violence in this year around the presidential election, it's not going to look like January 6th. It's not going to look like a massive mob of people that's organized and compelled to come together at our nation's capital or any state capital. It's going to look like individuals who decide that based on their extreme beliefs, they have to act out on their own. And that seems to be what we have here.
It's an incredibly disturbing story. Andrew McCabe, Danny Freeman, I know you'll keep reporting on this. Please keep us posted.
Well, all right, there's the first clip on it, guys. Pretty crazy stuff, okay? Because I know politics are a tough subject. I know. We don't talk about them here for that reason, because people have such different vast thoughts and theories on them that, it's easier not to in some senses. But to go that far, I mean, come on. And to your own father, come on. That's just a bit much for me. I'm sorry. A whole lot. Whole lot. Hold on a minute here. All right, we're going to do the press conference on this next, so you can see. And I can agree with that too, John Boy, in a sense. All right, I want the press conference for you guys too. Hold on here, so you get a good idea of what the hell is going on. Sorry, guys, messed it up there. I've been doing it for 2 days now. Hold on here. Here we go.
Live from the ABC 27 Digital Now Center, this is ABC 27 News Plus.
Yep. Testing. Yep. Can you hear me? Good.
That's what my guess is, Pia.
Thank you. Yeah. You know what? I'm just gonna. Sorry, guys. All right. Good morning. I'm Jennifer Shorn, District Attorney of Bucks County. I want to announce the individual standing behind me. To my left is Chief Deputy District Attorney Matthew Linetti. To my right is Deputy District Attorney Ashley Toohey. And to her right is Assistant District Attorney Christine Sassani. They're the prosecution team assigned to this case. Behind me is Lieutenant Bob Gorman and Detective Tim Furman. from the Bucks County District Attorney's Office, the county detectives assigned to investigate this case. Directly behind me is Chief Martin McDonough, our Chief of County Detectives, and to his right is Detective Kevin Pletnicki, and to his right, Detective Jake Gallagher with the Middletown Township Police Department, and to his right, Lieutenant Steve Foreman from the Middletown Township Police Department, Chief Joseph Bartarillo from the Middletown Township Police Department, and finally, Captain Pete Feeney of the Middletown Township Police Department. I just want to start with commending all of these individuals for the work they've done thus far and the work they're going to continue to do on this case. On Tuesday, January 30th of 2024, at 6:59 p.m., the Middletown Township Police Department was dispatched to a death investigation Orchard Drive in Levittown, Middletown Township. While en route, they received updated information that an elderly male had been found in the bathroom with a large amount of blood and that his head had been decapitated. The head of this deceased individual was located in an adjacent room, wrapped in saran wrap and in a cooking pot. Denise Mohn had arrived home and found her decapitated husband and ran to a neighbor's house where she asked that they call the police. Middletown Township Police arrived at 7:06 p.m. The victim has been identified as Michael Francis Mohn, who was 68 years of age. He resided at that residence with his wife and his adult son. He was a federal employee with the Army Corps of Engineers. The victim's white.
Hold on, guys. The sound should be good.
Toyota Corolla and his adult son, Justin.
Let me know if that
Mohn,
sound is
were
good.
missing from the residence. Justin Daniel is 32 years of age. Police started a homicide investigation and the vehicle was entered into NCIC. Police were advised of a YouTube video depicting Justin Mohn holding the severed head of his father, Michael Mohn. Multiple calls were received by 911. Details of the video are as follows. The video is a 14-minute and 34-second video of Justin Mohn, where it is titled Mohn's Militia. It's a call to arms for American patriots. The video appears to be taken in the same bedroom of the home where bloody gloves were found.
Thank you, Doodle dear.
In the video, Justin Mohn is holding a human head detached from the body that was wrapped in plastic. Justin Mohn advised that the head is Mike Mohn's head. During the video, Justin Mohn advised that Mike Mohn is in hell for being a traitor to his country. During the video, Justin Mohn provides his identity.
Get it, guys.
And advises that he is the commander
Take care, Michael.
of America's National Network of Militia, also known as Mohn's Militia. During the video, Justin Mohn advises that he is giving the following order for all militia and patriots.
Hold on, guys. I have it turned up, I think. Yeah, it's as loud as I can get it. I don't know why it's so loud, so low. Sorry, guys. I'm trying. Hold on a minute. Where's it at? Okay.
Patriots across the USA to kill federal employees. From the FBI and federal law enforcement officers, and for those that work at the courthouse to be arrested, that all federal agents, U.S. Marshals, federal judges, and Border Patrol be captured and tortured for information, and then publicly executed. Justin divulges the home address of a federal judge and puts a bounty on his head and heads of high-ranking federal officials. He demands violence against all federal employees, but exempts state government, state governors, and state employees. The suspect's phone was pinged, and it was, again, an outstanding effort by law enforcement to work in such a expeditious fashion, pinging the defendant's phone and identifying his location. It was determined that the location was showing at Fort Indian Town Gap, a National Guard training center in Lebanon County, Pennsylvania. The suspect drove his vehicle to this location. He climbed a barbed wire fence. After he drove his vehicle past the barricades first, exited his vehicle, climbed a barbed wire fence, and entered the secured military installation. Fort Indian Town Gap Police Department were notified of the ping in their jurisdiction. Shortly thereafter, Fort Indian Town Gap Police Department and the Pennsylvania State Police located Justin Mohn trespassing on governmental property. Justin Mohn was taken into custody without incident. The defendant had a loaded Sig Sauer 9mm handgun on him, and it was loaded, as mentioned, missing one round. Justin Mohn was taken into custody. The defendant stated he went to Fort Indian Town Gap in an effort to mobilize the PA National Guard to raise arms against the federal government. He also indicated that he wanted to speak to Governor Shapiro to join forces. The autopsy of Michael Mohn was conducted on Thursday, February 2nd, by Dr. Ian Hood, forensic pathologist. It was determined that Michael Mohn suffered a gunshot wound to his head and then was subsequently dismembered, and that the mechanism was the use of a knife to sever limbs and tendons, and then ultimately a machete to sever his spinal column. This investigation, again, I can't speak more highly of the work that was done by my colleagues and fellow members of law enforcement. They identified the fact that the defendant purchased a firearm the day before murdering his father. He purchased that firearm at Johnson's in Croydon, Bristol Township, Bucks County on January 29th. The defendant is a graduate from Neshaminy High School and Penn State main campus. He previously worked and lived in Colorado, working for a contractor for Microsoft Corp. He's currently unemployed. He has no history of diagnosed mental health issues, and there are presently no 302s or 201s in his history. I am going to turn it over to Chief Joseph Barbarillo, and then we'll
Thank you,
be
War
available to
Eagle.
answer any questions you may have.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Chief Joe Barbarella from the Middletown Township Police Department. So I want to start off just by saying that me and my entire police department, our hearts ache for the Mohn family. I know we had a meeting with them last night at our police headquarters with victims advocacy. And I just want to let everyone know that we will be with them every step of the way through this incredible ordeal that they're going through. And also our Upper Orchard community, which is one of our small communities within our Levittown section of our township, you know, as the whole community mourns and aches over this, that our police department will be right there with them as they recover, you know, on the road to recovery from what they've had to experience. You know, the family was very well known, had a lot of neighbors and close friends that really cared about them. So I just want to put that out there first and foremost. Next, the one thing I want to do is recognize all of the law enforcement agencies that played, you know, such a huge role in making such a fast apprehension and bringing closure to this in getting the apprehension within hours of the crime occurring. We were discussing that if Justin hadn't been apprehended, can you imagine the manhunt that would have been underway, you know, shortly thereafter, and how everything would have been focused on finding him and how the entire community would have been in a state of panic. So one of the things I want to do right now is just praise our law enforcement. From my police department, our detective sergeant, Zach Brocious, he's the one that actually did, you know, they call it the ping. I say tracking Justin's cell phone and pinpointing where he was. Two of our detectives are here, our lead detectives on the case, Jake Gallagher and Kevin Platnecki, but all of our detectives were at the scene that night. And that was our first priority, you know, getting to the scene, preserving the scene, but then locating Justin, who went quickly from a person of interest, obviously, to the suspect. And with that, police department that I'm learning more about every day, the Fort Indian Town Gap PD, who did an incredible job of rapidly responding when we called them and told them that we had a general idea of Justin's location based on cell phone tracking. They located, Fort Indian Town Gap Police Department located his car first, and then later on, based on continuous cell phone tracking, were able to locate and detain him without incident. I don't know the full circumstances as to where he was detained. I think he did climb over a fence and get into the fort. He might have been armed, but you have to ask their police department about it. I'm very grateful to the Fort Indian Town Gap PD for the outstanding work they did in getting that apprehension as quickly as they did. So given that, I do want to thank them, and also Pennsylvania State Police. And in addition to our police department, we're very blessed to work in a county where we have an outstanding relationship, and we do a lot of mutual aid and we assist each other. We're 39 small police departments, 43 law enforcement agencies, supported by what I think is the best district attorney's office in the state. So I want to thank District Attorney Shorn, Chief of County Detectives Martin McDonough, and his entire staff, and also our coroner's office as well, for their incredible support in helping us process the crime scene and being there to provide the additional resources that we needed in order to handle, you know, what has become, you know, a very significant event and case that's gaining, you know, national, if not worldwide attention. So I just wanted to make sure that I thanked, you know, everyone who supported us through this. So our detectives were on it from the start, and they're still working. We've been very busy, and we're going to continue to be busy, you know, as we continue to work through investigating this case. It's not over just because an arrest was made. There's still a lot of information that has to be done to ensure, you know, that we move through with a successful prosecution. So with that, I really don't have anything else to add. Hang on one second. I don't have anything else to add. So I want to just defer to District Attorney Shorn first, if she wants to take questions before I do.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief Barbarella. I appreciate
Does he indicate to you what sets him off to kill his father Tuesday night?
So I've shared the information that I'm able to share at this juncture. As you know, this is an ongoing investigation with the most talented members investigating this case. I can't speak to anything further beyond what I conveyed thus far about statements made.
Jen,
Is there any evidence he was a member of a militia?
Obviously,
Or had militia ties?
obviously, I think his online manifesto speaks for itself at this juncture. Again, this is going to be an ongoing investigation for months, and we'll continue to investigate this through the successful prosecution with this team present.
Jen, how concerning is this to you and everyone out there that this was up online as long as with the calls for violence that were out there, that it was up as long as it was?
That was incredibly concerning. I mean, obviously, from an evidentiary value, that video is very important, and we need to have possession of that. But it's quite horrifying how many views we understand it had before it was taken down. Obviously, we were able to capture and secure that video because it's pretty self-explanatory as to who's responsible, although these are allegations at this point. So that's very concerning. And I got to tell you, Jim, when to Chief Barbarella's point, the fear of what this could have been, I know that Chief McDonough and I were expressing that night. I know Chief Barbarella was living it that night, and it was thanks to this outstanding collaboration of the men and women in law enforcement. And also, I should mention the U.S. Marshals assisted in making sure that individuals named were safe. But that was the reassurance that we all needed to know that we're safe and that this case will be prosecuted.
Was he a legal buyer of that gun that he buys the day before killing?
He was. There was nothing legally precluding him from purchasing that gun. In fact, our investigation has revealed that he surrendered his medical marijuana card so as to be eligible to legally possess a gun. That also shows you the clear state of mind that he was in, having planned what he ultimately carried out.
Has he had a mental health evaluation yet?
I'm sorry, I can't speak to that.
Did anyone have any interaction with him
Are you referring to anyone present team here? 1 second, please. We believe the federal authorities conveyed that, but also ultimately after the number of views, the content obviously became, that's a flag, that's a shot over the bow that something's unusual in that short period of time. So it came down pretty quick once we knew about it, but it was, we did take steps obviously to preserve it, and we had that video.
So do we know how many views it got and how long it was up for?
I'm sorry.
Do we know how many views it got and how long it was up for?
I know at some point when I was aware of it, there was over 5,000 views.
Okay.
You mentioned he had no 302s, but some neighbors said that they had reported him to police. Had he come to police attention before this incident?
I'm going to turn that over to Chief Bartarello as it relates to that. I know you've been patiently waiting. Is it a separate, same question? Then I'll step aside.
So I have been emailed by several reporters regarding our police department's past contact with Justin Mohn. So we went through our records management system, and our police department has had 3 prior contacts, 2 direct, 1 indirect. One was in 2011 when Justin was 19. He had an argument in his home driveway with someone. There was nothing criminal there, and that was resolved. One was in 2019. Justin reported that he received a threat from someone at Progressive Insurance in Ohio because he was suing them and just wanted a record of it. And then last year, we did not have contact with Justin, but his employer from Philadelphia called one of our officers and just expressed concern about, Justin's behavior at work and wanted legal advice on how to go about terminating his employment, which we don't do. Where police department doesn't offer that. That's for his, individual employer. So we did refer the employer, to seek out, legal resources for that. And also because it was in Philadelphia to, refer anything work related, if they were concerned, to the Philadelphia Police Department. That's the only contact. I know we keep hearing that police were outside of his home at various times outside of, what I just mentioned. I can only speak for the Middletown Township Police Department. We were not.
Did you have a history of threatening the judge that you mentioned in the YouTube video?
Not that we're aware of. It was never reported to us.
Chief, when the employer calls
Mhm.
and says, I need legal advice how to fire this cat, does that prompt you to go to him? Do you have any contact with him after the
We
employer
didn't
calls?
go to him after that because the officer asked if, was there any criminal action on his part or any threats made or anything like that. I think there was concern over, I guess, what Justin was writing, some novels that he was writing, but we did not have contact with him after that. No, direct contact. Based on what the information that the officer gathered, and what the decision the officer made, no, I don't think we needed to have contact with him
I
after that.
believe DA Shore touched on his intentions in Fort Town Gap. I don't know if any colleagues of Gap Police were in contact with you. I just wanted to ask again if there's any way to know what he might have been up to and what the next few hours had he not been caught might have held.
So you're asking
I'm
if,
asking what his intentions
right,
were.
so if we tracked him up there and he hadn't been apprehended, what he would have done?
It's a hypothetical. I'm just asking,
Right.
In talking with him since arrest,
Yes.
what you believe his intentions
So
were.
I have no idea what he said since arrest, and I wouldn't be able to share that anyway, and I don't know what his intentions were, except that he was armed inside a National Guard base, so
Do you know if he's facing federal charges? That's our involvement.
I'm not sure.
Quick question, DA Joy or Chief. Sometimes with these online internet calls, there's some sort of dark web incel culture. Do we have any indication that anyone took this call seriously? Did he have any sort of online support in what he was calling for?
Right. Do you want to speak to
Yeah,
that?
I'll
Go ahead.
speak to that. Obviously, as mentioned, this is still very much an ongoing investigation, and this investigation will take months, not days. But we do know that there was some communication on Discord as far as that is what we've learned, and we're still investigating that. So as it relates to some of the things he conveyed in this video and his beliefs and position, the one thing I want to state again is it was evident to us that he was of clear mind in his purpose and what he was doing. Aside from what his beliefs are. He was of clear mind doing this, and that's an important fact to us in this prosecution.
DA, do you expect you'll have a defense attorney claiming that he was insane? That is the mental. So your argument is being made right here. Your view, clear mind, got rid of his marijuana license, got a gun, he knew what he was up there.
Anytime we have a murder case, we anticipate what issues we may face.
Sounds great, Pia. Thanks so much, hon.
One of the things we always look at is there going to be a later claim of McNaughton insanity? That is a very specific definition where somebody is unaware of the nature and consequences of their actions. Not that they're perhaps what the common term crazy is, but it is a very specific terminology. And I can state with the evidence we have gathered thus far, this individual was
Isn't that an insane act?
there is a complete and utter difference between what we would term that person's crazy to what is legal insanity. That will be later when we prosecute this matter.
You said that Mr. Mohn's father also had limbs.
No, his head was dismembered. Yes, decapitated, dismembered, post-mortem.
Okay.
Do you know how long he had been planning this? Could he about the gun the day before? Do we know how far back beyond that?
We don't at this juncture. It's still pending. Obviously, we're going to gather as much information as relates to that.
How long was he in the base before he was arrested?
We don't believe it was that long. I'm sorry. We're still gathering that information. We obviously have a pretty good sense of his movements based on the investigative work that was done. And we believe shortly after the post that his path of travel was directly to Fort Indiantown Gap. And that is consistent with the timeline that we know.
He lived with his parents. It's not like he was some estranged son who came out of nowhere for some sort of vengeance against his father. Is there any indication from mom or any other relative that there was anything leading up to this?
I can't speak to that at this juncture, but I can echo what I could not have said better than Chief Bartarillo in that our thoughts are with this family. This is the unimaginable. So, that's going to take time. We're going to provide the resources for this family, but this is truly just unimaginable for them. So, again, we'll continue to investigate.
Yeah. Are there any new charges? He took his father's car, for example. Would that be additional charging on that front?
It is not uncommon for us at some point
Thank you,
to add
Zelda.
charges. We'll evaluate that. This team of attorneys will evaluate what charges additionally are appropriate. But we wanted to make sure that we were charging immediately that night to take him into custody, and he is in custody without bail at the correctional facility in Bucks County.
Do we know when he gave up his marijuana card?
Days before.
Okay.
In his video, he alluded that he had a previous contact with the FBI. Are you or Middletown Police aware of any previous contacts with the FBI, Federal Protective Service, Secret Service, any of those federal agencies?
All questions as it relates to any federal probe or, federal contacts that existed prior to this homicide investigation, I'm going to refer to the FBI or Department of Justice to field those questions.
Yeah, is he talking to you?
I can't speak to that.
Does he answer your question?
I can't speak to that. We're not able to speak to that.
Is he proud of what he did, do you think? I mean, look at the picture there. He seems pretty calm and somewhat proud of himself.
I think you can draw conclusions, your own conclusions, and I'm not saying that in a facetious manner from the video and how for those of you that viewed it, how he presented on that video. So, but I can't speak to that.
Of his 131 subscribers, are you investigating any of those for answering this call to arms that you put out?
We'll obviously investigate anyone and everyone who is associated with this homicide, with the subsequent dismemberment, with the then events to flee the scene. We will consider anyone who may be an accomplice.
Was anyone else in the house when this happened, or was it just the victim's wife when she came home?
The victim's wife who discovered it she was home alone. So if there's not any other questions, I think you go ahead.
You said he'd never been diagnosed officially with any mental illnesses. Do we know how?
I didn't say that. I can't speak to that.
Oh, okay.
I can't speak to that.
Do we know how he got his marijuana card?
I don't know that. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here.
All right, guys, that's the presser. Listen, she made a statement. By the way, real quick, anybody that has donated to support the channel via Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal, I want to thank you so very much from the depths of my heart and soul. That does pay my bills, folks, to keep me doing this daily. And I want you to know that it's never, ever expected, but more than appreciated from anybody that donates to that. Thank you so very much. She stated that she believed he was in his right mind. Okay. You got to think about that question or that statement. Who could do something like this that is in their right mind? I mean, obviously there's going to be a mental health evaluation, so on and so forth, but you can't make that statement saying that he knew what he was doing, he was in his right mind, he was good with this, he was good with that. Come on, guys, that doesn't make any sense. And I just can't go with that. I can't. I'm sorry, but I can't. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to give you guys, there was a news clip that gives the timeline real quick. I'm going to give that to you guys, and we're going to talk about this a bit too here in a second. Sorry. I mean, I have a feeling that if he's got an attorney, that they're going to use the insanity defense, in my opinion. I mean, they'd be smart to do it. Hey, Sandy, great to see you. You can't be. That's right. That's my thought. Exactly, Sandy. You could not possibly be in the right frame of mind to do this because of your political views. Come on. To your own biological father. That makes it even worse. It makes it even worse, in my opinion. I'm just saying, I can't claim to know what's going on in this kid's mind, but still, I mean, just like the generalization of it, you know what I'm saying? That's where I get this. There's no way in hell that this guy was in the right mind. What worries me is if he had a militia group that he had online, are there more people like him that are going to pull things like this? I mean, come on, that's what I'm nervous about. I'll be honest with you guys. And I'm hoping that they're investigating that at this point. That's my biggest hope.
Disturbing new details involving a gruesome murder in Bucks County where police say a man was beheaded by his son. Now, we do want to warn you, some of this is disturbing. Middletown Township Police identified the suspect as 32-year-old Justin Mohn, and the victim, his father, is 68-year-old Michael Mohn. Police were called to the home around 7 last night, and that's when court documents say officers made the horrific discovery of the victim's head in a pot. Mohn was arrested more than 100 miles away. And Chris, that was after police say he posted a shocking video on YouTube.
That's right, Gina. The 14-minute videotaped manifesto, Justin Mohn called himself a militia leader, asking for the murder of federal judges and employees. We've been poring over court documents. We've been looking at police records.
This is what I'm talking about. He has a whole manifesto that he put out there. And he's the leader of a militia group. And he's calling for the unaliving of several political leaders. That's what I'm afraid of. That's what scares me with this, okay? Because if these people believed in him, you know how that goes, you guys. Thank you, Zelda, very much. You know exactly how that goes. And I'm hoping that they got this soon enough to where they can get to these people that are involved with him. It's crazy. It is crazy. Okay. Very scary. Federal judges and employees. Come on. This is insane. So nuts.
Get a clear picture of what led up to the grisly murder of his father and his arrest 2 hours away. And again, some of the details may be difficult to hear. The arrest affidavit shows the wife of 68-year-old Michael Mohn left the Middletown Township home at 2 p.m. Tuesday. It was about 3 hours later, Justin Mohn posts that gruesome 14-minute video showing the decapitated head of his father and appearing to read a script calling for the murder of federal employees and the media. 6:59 p.m. 911 is called when Mohn's wife returns home to find her husband found dead in the bathroom along with a machete and large kitchen knife. Mohn's severed head was found in another room. As police immediately started their search for Justin Mohn, news of the decapitation stunned this Levittown neighborhood.
Oh, I can't. Oh, you know, I really can't understand it. Yeah, I do get emotional. That's why I didn't even watch the video. I don't need to.
9 p.m., Mohn's cell phone is pinged and his car is found by local police outside the gates of Fort Indiantown Gap National Guard Base in Lebanon County. Just 25 minutes later, his phone pinged again, this time from inside the base. Police say he climbed the perimeter fence but was located and arrested without incident. He had no prior history with the National Guard.
He complied with the officer's verbal requests. And was taken into custody. He was armed. He had a firearm on him.
4 a.m. Wednesday, Mohn was brought back to Bucks County to face first-degree murder charges of his father. We've learned the 32-year-old graduated from Penn State in 2014 with a degree in agribusiness. He also represented himself, filing a lawsuit against the federal government over student loan debt. The case was dismissed multiple times. The YouTube video Mohn posted was viewed more than 5,000 times before being taken down. And tonight, Mohn remains in the Bucks County Jail without bail. He is scheduled in front of a judge for his preliminary hearing on February 8th, guys.
All right, Chris O'Connell, thank you very much. And we'll continue following this investigation with updates on air, online at fox29.com and on the Fox 29 News app.
Yeah, that's crazy, Greg. Wow. I feel so bad for his mother, you know? But like I said, you guys, the thing that has me nervous the most is the fact that there are other people that were part of his group possibly that we don't know. You know what I mean? I pray to God that they've got everybody honest. I really do. What was it that Michelle said? Welcome, by the way, Michelle. It's great to see you today. Dago, YouTubers asked me if I knew Luke Epple, and I said yes. They said, oh no, that's Chris Reeves' boss. Humiliated, she posts, be nice to family. Our last name, but not related, and Luke is 33, not into. Okay, thank you, Michelle, for the info. Appreciate that. Julie Dunn, welcome. Good to see you. Greg McNeely, same with you, my friend. Anybody else that may be out there watching, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. This is horrifying, you guys. It really is. Like, what is going on? Okay. Okay. Yeah. I say I haven't watched the video. I think the video was taken down. I don't think I would need to see it, nor do I want to. That's kind of what I was hoping for, AG, and what I'm guessing. You know, there's a lot of people out there that have political views on certain things and feel a certain way about it strongly. I understand that. Okay. I get it. I do. The psychological standpoint of this, though, is you got to have common sense, folks. You know, we can't control everything in our lives, especially not political things. Okay. Doing what he did, it doesn't make it okay at all. And then to call out the other things he was calling out, come on, that's not how we do things here. That is not going to change anything. That's not going to fix any problems you may have with stuff. Yeah, I'm sure they did, Melissa. That's I don't think I need to. I mean, I've seen it happen before. When I was in EMS, I've seen that done to somebody. Okay, I don't need to. I don't need to. I don't think it proves anything. Absolutely, Michelle. No problem, hon. No problem at all. For those of you that have never seen that on somebody, it's not something you can unsee. It's there when it's there. This is crazy. Now I'm gonna show you guys I don't know if you guys have ever followed Todd Grande. He's a therapist. Okay. He did a little bit of an analysis on this, and I was going to give you guys, thank you, War Eagle, for that. And thank you to anybody that has done anything with the wish list for me. I do appreciate that. I'm going to let you guys watch this real quick, and then I want to have a conversation about this. Welcome, Gary. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. He does a bit of an analysis on this. It's kind of interesting to me. I've watched some of what Dr. Grande's done here on different shows. So exactly, Shelly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you just don't do that, okay? That's what I mean, Libra. I don't want to see it either. I have no want or need, honestly, to see it over that scenario at all. None at all. WB. Thank you for joining us. All right. And hopefully you guys can hear this okay.
Question is, can I analyze the case of Justin Mohn? Just a reminder, I'm not diagnosing anybody in this video, only speculating about what could be happening in a situation like this. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon. I will put the link to Patreon in the description for this video.
Again, guys, this is Dr. Todd Grande. For those of you that aren't familiar with him, if we can find a link for it, you guys can check it out. Either way, he will be in the description here, but I did kind of watch the analysis he did on this, and it was kind of interesting to me.
Yeah. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the alleged crime, then offer my analysis. Justin Mohn was born on November 4, 1991, and lived in Levittown, Pennsylvania. This is about 30 minutes northeast of Philadelphia. He was raised by his parents, Michael and Denise. He had an older sister who was born in 1986 and an older brother who was born in 1989. In 2010, Justin graduated from high school.
Welcome, JC, to the family. It's wonderful to have you here, and thank you for joining us. Another meatball in the house. Thank you for jumping in the sauce with us. Again, welcome back, Michael. Great to have you back, brother.
Accomplishments there included being nominated as the runner-up for Class Clown. After high school, Justin attended Penn State University. In 2014, he graduated with a bachelor's degree in agribusiness management.
Melissa.
In 2015, Justin moved to Colorado. He worked for a credit union in Colorado Springs before finding a better paying job with Progressive Insurance in October of 2016. In August of 2017, he was fired from the company after allegedly and about his writings. Now moving to the timeline of the alleged crime. On January 29, 2024, Justin purchased a Sig Sauer 9mm semi-automatic pistol. He had to surrender his medical marijuana card in order to legally complete this transaction. On the next day, January 30, at 6:59 p.m., the police responded to the Mohn family residence after receiving a call from Justin's mother, Denise. She had found the body of Justin's father, Michael, in a bathroom on the first floor. When the police arrived at the scene, they discovered that Michael had been decapitated. An autopsy would later reveal that the cause of death was being shot in the head one time. A machete and a large kitchen knife were found in the bathtub not far from Michael's body. A cooking pot was found inside of a bedroom next to the bathroom. It contained Michael's head. In a different first floor bedroom, the police found rubber gloves that had what appeared to be blood on them. The police spoke to Denise. She told them that she left the house at about 2 p.m. At that time, the only people in the house were Michael and Justin. When she arrived home, she found that Michael's Toyota Corolla was missing, the front door was unlocked, and her son Justin was not there. Investigators became aware that Justin had posted a video on YouTube at about 5 p.m. The video was titled Mohn's Militia Call to Arms for American Patriots. It was 14 minutes and 35 seconds. In the video, Justin spoke directly to the camera about his father. At one point, Justin picked up Michael's head and displayed it in front of the camera. He said, quote, "This is the head of Mike Mohn, a federal employee of over 20 years and my father. He is now in hell for eternity as a traitor to his country," unquote. Justin can be seen wearing rubber gloves, which matched the rubber gloves found in the house. The police were interested in finding Justin, mostly because of the murder part. Fortunately, it did not take long for Justin to be located. He drove his father's Toyota Corolla to Fort Indian Town Gap, Pennsylvania. This is about 2 hours west of Levittown. Justin drove through barricades at a Pennsylvania National Guard training center, exited the vehicle, and climbed a barbed wire fence. The police were able to find Justin by tracking his cell phone. At 9:25 p.m., he was arrested without incident. At the time of his arrest, Justin was carrying a 9mm pistol that appeared to be missing one cartridge. Justin Mohn was charged with first-degree murder, abusing a corpse, and possession of instruments of crime. Now moving to my analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case. Item number 1. Justin had a history of filing lawsuits that were frivolous, bizarre, and revealed anti-government sentiment. He sued the federal government 3 times, complaining that they, quote, negligently and fraudulently induced him to borrow money to pay for his education without sufficiently warning him of the possibility that he would face a difficult job market and could be unable to pay back his loan, unquote. In 2017, Justin sued Progressive Insurance. He claimed that he was discriminated against for being male, overeducated, overqualified, and intelligent. The lawsuit was dismissed after a judge found no evidence of discrimination. It sounds like Justin wanted to blame everyone else for his perceived failures. Item number 2. Justin Mohn did not have a history of mental illness. When Justin was in high school, his classmates described him as immature, but said that eventually he became overconfident. In college, Justin started talking about bizarre conspiracy theories, including those involving the government. In his neighborhood, Justin wasn't exactly popular. He was described as someone who would walk around the development and behave in an odd manner. For example, sometimes he would sit on a manhole cover in a park and stare at a house. Despite perceiving him as unusual, no one believed that Justin was dangerous. Item number 3. Justin listed self-published books for sale on Amazon. One book, titled The Revolution Leader's Survival Guide, featured the world on the brink of a golden age of world peace and space colonization, or a second dark age. Justin had a book that was loosely based on his life, titled The Second Messiah, King of Earth. A book titled The Kingdom of Darkness talked about how Satan was planning on taking over the universe using technology. This book was set in the 2040s after human beings colonized other planets. In Justin's book titled America's Coming Bloody Revolution, he demanded that Americans kill their own family members, bosses, elected leaders, judges, co-workers, and teachers. He argued that people born in 1991, the same year that he was born, or born after that, should carry out this bloody revolution. In addition to advocating for homicide, Justin was ageist. Some of Justin's other book titles were The Punishing, Dark Ages of the Future, Poems I Wrote While Stoned, and They Will Burn This Book. In his Amazon profile, Justin wrote, quote, "His life story is unbelievable, and there may not be enough words to describe him, but one may begin to understand his complexity and experiences through his art. He only wishes to bring positive changes to the world," unquote. Justin wasn't only someone who wrote what he referred to as books, he also wrote what he referred to as music. On Spotify, he he uploaded multiple albums containing music with apocalyptic themes. There were 5 regular listeners to his music. This is probably less success than he envisioned, but certainly more than he deserved. Item number 4. In the video that Justin uploaded to YouTube on the day of the killing, he once again encouraged violence against government officials. He claimed that he was the commander of a national militia network and ordered militia members to attack and kill government employees. He even revealed the home address of a federal judge and placed a bounty on several high-ranking federal officials. Justin criticized President Joe Biden, the LGBT community, and the Black Lives Matter movement.
I agree.
Now moving to item number 5. What do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion. Justin Mohn appeared to be paranoid and embraced conspiracy theories. A central component of his belief system was his anti-government position. He saw the government as a threat to freedom and safety. In addition to being paranoid, Justin had several narcissistic characteristics, including self-centeredness, a sense of entitlement, arrogance, overconfidence, a belief that he was special, and grandiosity. In his mind, he was the most important person who ever lived. Justin's experiences in life did not match his inflated self-view. For example, he failed to maintain steady employment and had to settle for runner-up to class clown in high school. These failures created a conflict that Justin could not resolve because he refused to believe that he was the problem. Not surprisingly, this led Justin to view the rest of the world as evil, corrupt, and out to get him. Every struggle that he had was because others would not recognize his greatness and respect him. His next step was a bold move to validate his feelings of self-worth. On January 30, 2024, he launched his revolution by mobilizing his non-existent militia. His father, Michael, had retired from his job as a federal employee with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. So naturally, Justin looked at Michael as an enemy. Killing his father demonstrated that Justin was ready to follow his own advice. It proved his high level of commitment. There was no turning back. He was ready for the apocalypse. After allegedly committing the murder, Justin drove to the National Guard Training Center to continue his attack. The Bucks County District Attorney claimed that Justin was acting with a clear mind when he allegedly killed his father, but I'm not sure this statement is accurate. Justin may have been suffering from paranoid delusions at the time of the killing. I would not be surprised if his defense prominently featured the argument that he was psychotic. Considering he uploaded a video featuring his father's head, Justin is facing an uphill legal battle. It's not like he can argue that he found his father in that condition and just decided to make a video. Some type of defense based on insanity is the only hope Justin has of escaping responsibility. Justin would have a better chance of selling one of his so-called books than being successful with this tactic, but he did manifest symptoms of paranoia for many years before the killing. He was heavily invested in conspiracy theories for a long time. This, combined with the bizarre nature of his crime, may give him a chance of spending his life in a mental health facility as opposed to spending his life in prison. Now moving to my final thoughts. Conspiratorial thinking is extremely common all over the world. It is an epidemic that doesn't have a clear solution. The content of most conspiracy theories involves some type of threat to humanity. A person with these beliefs may try to run and hide from the threat, or they may take an approach based on offense, like they want to strike first in order to protect themselves from the government. Conspiratorial beliefs are amplified and transformed through the lens of narcissism. In the case of Justin Mohn, he was enamored with his own perceived greatness. Therefore, when he invested in conspiracy theories, he envisioned himself as a hero. He was the second Messiah and the King of Earth. His intent was to save humanity from the evil forces of the government. The higher purpose in his life was now being fulfilled. He was finally going to ascend to the throne. This case demonstrates how personality traits can combine to become particularly dangerous. Justin probably wasn't a threat just based on his conspiratorial thinking and paranoia. Similarly, he probably wasn't a threat based only on his narcissistic characteristics. However, when all these traits combined, it led to a perfect storm. Justin believed he could satisfy his paranoia and his need for greatness by rising up as a leader. A little bit of narcissism can be useful in certain circumstances. For example, it can help people to overcome inappropriate criticism, stand up for themselves, and be more competitive in various environments. A large amount of narcissism, however, is rarely useful. It can transform any personality trait, whether adaptive or maladaptive, into something undesirable. In extreme cases, it can even lead to unthinkable crimes. Those are my thoughts on the case of Justin Mohn. Please put any opinions and thoughts in the comment section. They always generate an interesting dialogue. As always, I hope you found my analysis of this topic to be informative. Thanks for watching.
I want to shift our attention to the state of Pennsylvania, where
Okay. And that is Dr. Todd Grande. I like listening to his analyzations of different scenarios like this. I definitely do not agree with the lady stating that he was in the right mind. No. I don't. I do not believe he was in his right mind when he made this decision to do this. Just on from a psychological standpoint, you almost couldn't be. Now, knowing right from wrong, that's different, okay? But to think that you have to make this type of a decision to change things or to prove your beliefs is not a good decision, in my opinion. And that's my thought too. WB says they probably should have stopped him 6 months before. And we've seen this, you guys, time and time again with unfortunately mass shooters, school shooters and stuff like that have done these types of things. What's up? Got me stumped. Yeah, and it did sound like he was reading children's book, but he's very calm and to the point when he reads what he states what he's stating. That's why I like him, and he does bring very good points. So yeah, I I agree with that, WB, that they should have done something 6 months before this with him. And like I said, we've seen that time and time again with other, mass killings per se, where there have been signs and symptoms of things that could alert people to this, and then it's too late. I definitely don't think that politics is a good reason to go into this type of a rant or make a decision based on this. Politics are politics, guys. We talk about them or we don't talk about them. Sometimes it's safer not to, but you don't make decisions like this over a political view. Come on, that's just too much. All right, so thank you for that, Zelda. Guys, again, if you haven't, please leave a little DNA on that like button for me. I appreciate you so very much. There's Milo. Milo, what are you doing back there? Crazy boy. Let's see here. Maybe anecdotal, but I worked with schizophrenic people and I've been on the side here. Mental fathers. It does happen. Yes, that's true stuff, Greg. My wife has 2 degrees in psychology, and we've read about stuff like that while she was getting her degree. So yeah, I agree. And that's kind of what I'm going on with there, Josie, that it was just an excuse for a reaction to something he wanted to do, in a sense. You can call me wrong, but I did see that, Zelda. She was convicted of 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. I think that was deserved. I definitely do. That's just my opinion. I feel so bad for Michael Mohn's mother, losing her husband and her son, in a sense. It's a horrific scenario, it just really is. So, Sorry about the ads, Kim. I turn them down on the lowest setting that they offer me the option to do, and they still come through here like crazy. So I don't know, guys. All right. So does anybody want to jump up here and talk about this with me? Give your opinions, your thoughts, your theories on this. Anybody at all, please feel free. There's a link in chat. Jump up here. Let's talk about it, guys, because I love having these conversations with you guys. Court TV did do a video on this. We're going to talk. If nobody wants to talk about it, of course, we'll go into that next and talk about that too. That's fact, Zelda. Very much so. Murder causes pain to a lot of people, and all the loved ones that are left behind have to deal with the aftermath. And the people that do this don't think about that. They don't seem to care. You know what I mean? Oh, I think it's a horrible thing to have to deal with in that sense. So, oh. Thank you, Kim. Again, there's the link in the chat, guys, for anybody that would like to join me. Let me hear about it then, Miss Ma'am. You can disagree. It's all about it. It's why we talk about things. Some people just agree or disagree, and that's okay. We can do that and still walk away at the end. Let me see. Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Wow. What's up, dog?
What's up, dog? How are you?
Fine.
Good.
I disagree with you on one thing, but
I saw that, and that's okay. That's fine with me. What is your disagreement?
I can't say that he wasn't in his right state of mind.
Okay. Why
Just simply, well, I feel like a lot of times when things like this happen, we immediately go to the person who was just out there or having a whatever momentary lapse of sanity. But I stand believing that people can just be pure evil. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course. There's that's an obvious. I mean, I get you on that. I agree with you too. So yeah, being pure evil and being in the right state of mind can go hand in hand too, guys, in my opinion. Welcome, JC. Thank you for joining us.
Hi.
So what were you saying, Clue?
The fact that he was cognizant enough to know that he had to give up his medical
marijuana card,
yeah, it almost seems like it's something that he wanted. Well, yeah, like he planned, right? So I would just have a problem giving him any type of insanity plea, right?
Yeah. Now I understand, and I wouldn't want to give him that either because that's easy on him for what he's done. And I feel
absolutely.
I guess when I say that I feel he's in his right mind or he's not in his right mind, as far as decision-making processes, the fact that he started a militia group, the fact that he believed that the answer to, well, first of all, the fact that he believed that his father deserved to be murdered because of his beliefs and working for the government, and then calling for the deaths of multiple other like governmental workers. That's the part that I think is off as far as like where we sit on a shelf as far as our mental awareness. What I'm trying to say is like basically like we know right from wrong. We're taught that through school, through life, and everything. Okay. And pure evil is pure evil. I agree with you on that one. We've talked about that before with certain other, people. But the right and wrong aspect of this, in my opinion, is, the fact that it's wrong to kill people. We know that. It's wrong to take somebody's life because you feel that that person's thoughts or beliefs are not what the right thing because you think differently. That's what I'm saying. Like, out of your, in the wrong mindset, maybe is the way I should have put that. Maybe is what I'm thinking, and not a healthy, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Like, part of society, when somebody's a good member of society and should be able to function within society and make decent decisions is what I'm trying to say. But right mind, sure, he made a conscious decision to do what he did. Like Clue just said, he handed over his marijuana cards because he knew he had to do that to be able to have a gun.
And he did it like what, 1 day after he bought that gun?
I agree with you on that. I do. You know what I mean? So I guess the way you look at it is going to be the way you look at it. So, did you have anything to add with that, JC, or anything to go along with that?
I just want to say that, they were talking about his background, and he was educated. He wasn't stupid.
Yep, very much so.
So if you are educated like that, I don't know if he maybe lacked common sense and didn't know right from wrong, but everything that I'm seeing and hearing is pointing to he was educated, he knew right from wrong, and I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that he was, like, his demeanor in the video shows me that he was quite likely a sociopath.
Okay. Did you watch the video?
Yes, I did.
Okay. The one that has the head in it or the after effect?
The one that has it.
Okay. And so, like, how, because I didn't see it and I really don't think I want to, but
yeah.
If you can, like, give me an idea of how his demeanor was.
It was very calm. It was very I feel like it was very monotone. Very just emotionless.
Like a robot type scenario? Or not robot, but like kind of like dead inside.
Chill. Just very chill. Just like this is every day.
Okay.
Like I said, like at first I thought it was like, I mean, I knew what I was going to see because it was sent to me, so I knew it. But I was like, this looks like something that, you know how people do things on Halloween and stuff. I thought that, so I watched it again and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, wow, this is not Halloween. This is real deal.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's mind-boggling.
I get it. Well, and that's the scary thing is there are people out there that are walking around with us every day, you guys, that do these things. That's what scares me about this. The fact that the man had followers on this group that feel the same way he does, that he's, I don't know how many he may have had, but even if it's one person, that's one too many that should not think this way or feel this way, in my opinion. Real quick, thank you so much, CR, for gifting the membership. I think it was Gary Epley received it. Welcome, Gary, to the sauce. And again, thank you, CR, very much for that. You are appreciated. And Brandy, real quick, congrats for 14 months of being a member here. Miss Brandy's been here for 2 years, guys. And she's just amazing. So thank you, Brandy, for everything you do. And it's great to see you, dear. But sorry, back to that, JC. See, that's scary to me, though, that like a lot of the people that I've seen, a lot of people that act this way, that feel this way, that do these things, sadly, and you gotta wonder, is it something that they're born with and there was something that flipped the switch at some point in his life? Is it the whole political aspect that actually was just the switch flipper, or was this something that was growing and growing and growing?
Or did they develop a sociopathic mind?
Right. And what caused that? You know what I mean? That's why I want to do the mental health so bad, because there's a lot to look at with that. It is very interesting to me. Let's see, Firefly said that, I guess she must have watched it, said that he wasn't calm at all to her, that he seemed angry and ranting.
Yeah. I don't know. I just felt like he wasn't showing. He was he was definitely showing. I mean, he was angry, but to me he
wasn't screaming or yelling, or
I don't think so. No.
Okay. Gotcha. Let me see something here. I mean,
But,
I don't. Go ahead. Keep talking. I'm listening.
I don't know. He was definitely trying to get a point across. But it just wasn't normal to me. It was he sounded normal, but it wasn't normal. You know what I mean?
See, the thing, like the way that I saw his like his mugshot taken and all that kind of, he seems very proud of what he done. So he doesn't seem to have any kind of, doesn't feel bad about it.
Yeah, no qualms about it.
Victoria says he was matter of fact, as in, he was very sure of what he was doing. You don't see somebody doing something like this. This is their father. This is the person that brought them to life, gave them life, made them, brought them into this world, raised him. And then you shoot this person and decapitate them.
Yeah.
And then move on and still walk around holding your head high as you were proud of what you did. I've seen people do things like this, and then as soon as it's over with, they immediately have regret. And then they immediately realize, what did I do? Okay. That kind of a reaction I would expect to see from anybody. Not this right here, what this guy did, and standing there going, I did it, here I am. Take my picture, put me in jail, whatever. I stand for what I believe.
Yeah.
That's what blows my mind. That's insane to me. Maybe wrong term to use, but to me, that's insanity. I'm sorry. And I don't want them to be able to use the insanity plea for this, because I think he's getting off too easy with that. That's my
opinion. Absolutely.
I wish there was a way to watch the video of him without having to see the other part of it, with the head. I would just like to see and hear his demeanor.
It's only at the beginning, kind of.
The head thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it was taken down. I'm sure somebody will probably send it to me somewhere down the line, especially if I'm it. So we'll see what happens, guys. But okay. Fireplace says he wasn't yelling. He was very organized, which that's kind of scary. He had obviously had his manifesto he was reading from, but he was very stern and okay. So he knew what his point was. He knew what he was doing, and he highly believed in it, obviously. So that's the scary. Like I said, what scares me is the fact that I can get in a car and go to the grocery store and be standing in line next to somebody that thinks and feels the same exact way as this man. That's what weirds me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that you could as well, JC. Clue. Every one of us could, and not even knowing it. That's what scares me. So, yeah. Well, if there's a manifesto, Victoria, I guarantee you that it's planned. This was 100% premeditated. Okay. What triggered him to do this at this point? That day, I don't know. Maybe we will never know. And that's exactly my point, Stumped.
It could have just been that he had the opportunity.
He was left alone with him. Yeah. Right. I agree. Maybe there was an argument that ensued that day about something. Maybe he saw something on the news that just triggered him, and he was like, that's it. I'm doing it. You know what I mean? It could have been anything. Way too many people try and use the insanity plea to get lighter sentences, and it's so pathetic. And I do highly agree with you. You commit these crimes, you should have to do the full amount of what the law gives you, period. Or don't do it. You know what I mean? Being able to use an insanity plea, unless you are truly insane and you cannot help what has happened, should not be fair. It's not fair to me. I'm sorry.
But you also have don't you also have to like prove your I mean, you have to prove that you were insane too. Like, it's not just like, oh, I was insane.
Well,
like, oh, I was insane.
Here's the thing. Unfortunately, and this is just from what I've seen, okay? You can get away. Temporary insanity is a real thing. It happens. People are triggered by, okay, I'm going to use a really bad excuse of something. And I'm not going to say I went insane, but I'm going to say that it caused me to have a different thought process at that time that normally I would never have. So you guys have already heard me refer to the creature I was married to before my current wife. Okay. When I was married to her, or the creature, I should say, I walked in and caught her in bed with somebody else. And it definitely put me in a different level of thinking. You know, I instantly saw black, this and that. And of course, I was able to control myself. I never tried to hurt her, never threatened to hurt her. I never would do that, regardless of that situation. That's one of the worst situations a married couple can have involved in their life. Okay. But the other person that was involved, I had very bad thoughts of at that moment. Okay. I went into like an instant rage mode, and he ran, left, thank God, because nothing, if I would have interacted with him, who knows what would have happened. And then I went to bed, slept, got up the next day, and everything that ensued from that. So a situation like that can take you into a temporary insanity type scenario. But I don't think that, see, like with me, if I would have caught that guy, I probably would have fought with him like this. You know, I'm not going to go after somebody and try to take their life over something like that. That's common sense. Not everybody thinks that way, though. That's the problem. Not everybody's mind is able to control. You're not able to control yourself in that sense sometimes. Sometimes, now, here's a different scenario. God forbid, knock on wood, and you know, God bless, anybody were to ever mess with any of my children in any way, shape, or form, try to hurt one of my children. Okay? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to be, I don't know if I could control myself or my grandchildren. Okay? That may bring something out of me that I couldn't stop, if that's what I'm trying to, if you don't understand what I mean. And that's where I think some people go in these levels of their mind with this. But see, this doesn't make sense to me. This is why I feel when I said that, Clue, that I think he wasn't maybe in his right mind, because this is a belief he has in something that our government is our government. I get it, but like it's a thing that it shouldn't make you do that. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Does it make sense what I'm saying, or does it just sound like I'm rolling?
To me, it does.
I mean, that's what I mean. And yeah, I would have been. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Stumped. I mean, depending on what level the scenario is that you're involved in. But see, this shouldn't be this. If you want to have a fight, if at the worst thing he would have, if his father would have done or said something that upset him, you know, you cuss him out and you walk away. That's what, maybe at the very most, I wouldn't have even done that because it's my father. You know what I'm saying? See, that didn't seem to register for him that this is his father. To him, obviously, this is just the enemy in general, period. So I don't know. This is, I think there's a mental illness here. That's me. So. If you two want to talk for 1 second and excuse me, I'll be.
Clue, what do you think?
Honestly, with him planning it, I don't think it's a temporary insanity thing. Like, I don't think he just spur of the moment the day before was like, oh, I'm going to lose my mind. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a record of, I mean, he's formed this like militia. He's got a group. I mean, that takes a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
and just to like all of a sudden, like he didn't wake up and just do it, right? There was planning that took place. So for me, like a temporary insanity thing would be like what the example Dago was talking about, right? At that moment, you're going to lose your mind.
Yeah.
But to go so far as to surrender your medical marijuana card, get things in place, write a manifesto, like you're not temporarily insane. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely insane.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And like I say, I don't know if, to me, like I said before, I think it all points to the definition of a sociopath.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And he had all the, he knew right from wrong. He planned this. He is educated. And he might not have been in his, like, he might have, it's weird because everyone's mind is different. I do think he was in his mindset, but as far as a normal right mind, no way.
I gotta agree with Clue now a little bit more based on what Carolyn says. He thought the process out, and it's definitely premeditated. You gotta. I mean, it does fit together then, and I think I agree with you, Clue, because to be able to think this out and put the steps together. Do you know what I mean?
But it depends. I mean, you can say temporary, but temporary can be in a moment. Temporary can be for a period of time.
Or honestly, if you think about it, though, I was sitting here thinking about this while we were just talking about that. Sometimes people are just pure evil, and just,
yeah,
exactly.
You know what I mean? It is what it is.
I mean, when you think of like Ted Bundy, right? We
Mhm.
don't ever look at other prolific like serial killers or people that just kill in general. We don't ever look at them as like, oh, they had something messed up there.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. There's people that are like that. I agree with you, Firefly. Serious mental illness is possible, like Timothy McVeigh. The reasoning, like the Oklahoma bomber, the guy that was all premeditated stuff that he did, and to this day, whatever reasonings he had, they don't have a good enough basis to unalive that many people. There's even one person has no basis for that. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just, I don't know. This is hard to jump on with. You know what I mean? Very hard in some senses. Thank you, CR, or I'm sorry, Gary, very much. I appreciate that so very much. And then Kim just brought up, like, you have people like Richard Ramirez. That dude, from the documentary I watched on him and the interviews with him, is to me just pure evil, period. Because I don't think anybody could put an act on as well as Ramirez did and not have that evil in them. Okay. Some people do these things because they want attention. That's a psychological thing I've read about, that they just want somebody to see them for who they are. They just want them to see them, period. Like, here I am, I exist. I've been ignored my whole life. Now do you see me? That type of thing. You know what I mean? But again, that's still not enough to justify anything like this to me, as far as I'm concerned.
No.
I think he had something going on by way of like, I don't know, maybe like some sort of
bipolar thing or something.
Yeah, I mean, just to like, you walk outside and stare at a house. Like, I watched the interview with a neighbor, right? And he was like, he would just sit there and like stare at my house. Like, for you to just like clock out and spend like hours.
No. Yeah, there's definitely a mental defect there, in my opinion. I
just think it's sad. Because if he could have gotten help, in the past, but I do know that, like, our country in the mental health game is
Well,
it's just not. It
what was
doesn't line.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. What would that's a good question too, though, Doodle. Sorry, go ahead, JC.
We need way more resources.
100%.
You know, because if people could, and affordability is another thing.
Oh God, yeah. Medication is insane. Okay, and the ability to get your hands on it is hard. If you don't have decent insurance, or for that matter, state insurance, most people can't afford medications. I couldn't. Okay,
right.
It's just one of them things you just can't. And a lot of these medications, one of the medications that I took for my my blood sugar, like diabetic medication, is like $700. Okay,
a month.
A month for 30 pills. Who the hell can afford that? Like in any world, honestly, even if you have money.
Yeah.
You know, and Doodle, yeah, he did have a marijuana card at some point. It'd be nice to know what he had that card for. Was it
marijuana?
I mean, I know what it was, but like,
okay.
Was on it? You know what I mean? Was it because he was?
Was it a medical marijuana?
It was medical, but what was the medical reason why he was put on that card? Was it because I know around here some people can go in with a hangnail and go, I need the card, and they get it. You know what I mean? But
but you gotta
not just medication though. I'm talking about counseling services.
Oh no, you're right. I've been saying for months and months, and I'm trying to line things up with specific people to be able to do it. That I want to have, and it's actually been about a year, a mental health show showing that there, ways to get in touch with resources. There's not enough facilities, in-house facilities available. There's not enough outpatient facilities that are available to where people even know how to get in touch with that, to get the help that they need before things like this happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It'd be nice to be able to get a hold of somebody and say, hey, I'm having thoughts of,
this or that.
My father's head off because I have this feeling. Is that normal? No, it's not. Can you help me? And a lot of people don't do this. So
does anybody but me like ever wonder like what is happening? Like I know there were like things like this that occurred like back in the 20s, the 50s, but it's like it seems like every week you hear of something that's like, oh my gosh. And you got to wonder, like, is it truly that there really is like that much mental health issues out there, or is it just that people don't have a moral compass anymore?
I think it's a combination.
Willpower.
I was gonna say what JC just said. I think it's a combination of it, honestly. Like one, and I know we've talked about this before. This is a little back subject wise, but still on the same side. The newer generation, like my kids, and I don't know, hopefully not my grandkids, but my kids' age, they don't have, I mean, my kids are good, thank God. I got lucky with that. But I've seen kids that they're their age that don't have fear of consequence anymore. When I was that age, I was afraid of the police. Okay. Yeah. When I was that age, I was afraid of my parents.
Right.
It's not like that anymore.
Kids are fearless these days.
And that's where I think it starts. Because
that's more what I mean, right? Like, is it really that there's this huge problem? Like all the kids today, you can't say that they all have like mental health issues.
Right.
So what is happening?
Well,
society.
Thank God. I was very involved with my kids their whole life. I went to baseball, football games. I coached baseball, football. I was very involved in their lives, band concerts, choir concerts. We were there with them. We did family things together. And I'm not saying that that's the answer, guys. I'm saying I spent their childhood with them when I could. When I wasn't working, I was with them. We were doing family things together. We go out to eat. We go here. We go there. We do family things together. And that interaction, I think, you guys, is very important. Now, what had happened with a lot of kids that are my kids' age at this point is parents work. That's you have to. That's just what it is. And Xbox and this here and these things here become babysitters. Okay. That's where our kids go. And then once they get involved in that, it takes over and it teaches them.
It's hard
to
come.
They can get on here and look something up and say, I can do this and this and that, and the police can't do nothing to me. Ha ha. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know that now. That's a problem. I had real quick say, but the one that's just a little older than him was a very hard child to deal with. I'll just put it that way. Okay, he had a problem. He was a punk. He liked to smoke weed when he was young. Everything he could do to do what I didn't want him to do, he did it. He rebelled. So when he was 16, he just was out there. And I had a friend, still have the same friend that's a police officer in the city we lived in. I called him and I asked if he was busy because I knew he was working that shift. And he's like, not really, but what's up? And I said, listen, Ty is acting this way and that way and this and that. Would you mind coming over and like trying to scare him a little bit? And he's like, I can try. I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, they know, Joe. He's like, they know that we can't do nothing to him. He goes, but I'll try. So he comes over, and this is probably one of the nicest guys you ever see in your life, but he looked all tough and act all pissed off and all that, right, and everything. My kid laughed at him. And he goes, you can't do nothing to me. And he laughed at me, and I said, and at that moment, that was the moment that I realized that these kids had no fear of consequence. It scared me.
Well, it's true. Like, you can't do anything to your, like, if you hit your kid and they call 911, you are going to jail.
That's right. It is absolutely true. And there's nothing that the police will do unless they're trying to harm themselves or somebody else. And it's at that point, it's actually almost too late because then they've done that thing. Okay. And it's like, now what do we do? Because you cannot discipline your children in that sense anymore. You can't even really discipline them from a psychological basis or like a mental basis or emotionally. You can't do certain things to them to punish them because it affects them later in life is what the thing is now. Well, my parents, I was disciplined. I had my ass whooped. I had things taken from me. I was grounded, all of those things. And I think I turned out okay, you guys. I really do. And these kids, as you see now, they don't have, not him. And my kids are good, but that one child of mine, he still has as an adult. Okay? Still has issues as an adult. But anyway.
It's a rebelling too. Like, they don't care. They don't give a crap what your opinion is, what your thoughts are. Like, you telling them that something is good for them is just like
a joke.
It's like, you don't know anything.
They all think that. And I remember thinking that too, but I still took heed to 85% of what my parents said to me. And I use it now with my parenting, and they don't hear anything we're saying. They don't care about any of it. They laugh at us, more than we laughed at our parents. They would, the whole thing when you're grounded, go to your room and you run upstairs, like screaming to your pillow, I hope you get hit by a bus, all that kind of shit. You don't really mean that. They do. Okay. That's the difference.
Oh yeah.
So, it's like, where do you take control of that situation at this age to avoid this right here from happening at this age, at 32 years old? You don't. That's the problem.
You got a parent like Patton, grab him by the nose and kick him in the ass.
100%. And I'm still that way. I don't beat my kids. I have never done that, but I am definitely a stern disciplinary person. Yes, exactly. And the youngest one, a lot of you guys have met him. He can tell you that. But he knows at the same time, though, there's a line, guys. He knows that I love him. He knows that I care deeply for him and that I would do anything for him. And that's why I'm that way. And I've explained to him time and time again. You may hate me right now, but at some point in your life, you're going to look back and go, I'm glad you were like that, Dad, because I've done that with my mom and dad at this point now in my life. Okay.
Yeah.
because I wouldn't know the things that the commonsensical things that we have now that have taught me how to be a parent.
Mm-hmm.
Either way. So, hold on a minute.
I remember back in the day, my mama, she is the worst because she would either use a Hot Wheels racetrack or a flip flop. And I'm not talking about no cheap dollar store flip flop. I'm talking about a rainbow. Okay.
Right.
They have a lifetime guarantee for a reason. And she was literally whooping my brother's tail in the backseat of the car. And this cop came up and he starts hollering, "Arrest her. You take her to jail right now. You see her." And he goes, "Oh no, son. I came over here to see if she needed any help holding you."
And that's not the case anymore.
No.
I remember when they were
totally a societal change. And I don't know, but my cousin was probably 3 or 4 years old. Okay. He was young, and his mom was like, "If you do that again, I'm going to whoop your butt." And he goes, "And if you do that, I'm going to call the cops on you." I mean, you know what I mean? We never thought about saying that.
Well, hold on. You're a little bit right, but I remember when they started teaching. I'm 49, okay? They started teaching us in school about abuse. Shut up, Clue. And when we they taught us, don't let your parents do this. Don't let people do that to you. That's all fine and great. Well, guess what? If your parents are doing this, and you pick up the phone and you call 911 or the police, or you call children's services or whatever it was. Well, I tried that with my parents once. Okay. Yeah, that was funny, guys, because my mom said, here's the phone. You go ahead and call them. And when they get here, I'm going to beat your ass in front of them and you can go stay with them. That's how you want to play this? Let's do it. And I just kind of went, I'm sorry. I don't want to. No.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was like that. And I'm glad that it was like that, because that's partially what's happened now. They took God out of everybody's life, period, in some senses, okay? And I'm not saying you have to believe in God to be a good person, okay?
Right.
But that was where it started, guys. They took it out of the schools. They took this away from the schools. They took that away from this. They took away from parents' rights away from them this way. They did this, they did that. And here we sit and go, what's next?
Well, you gotta think when you talk about God, right? They took God out of a lot of stuff, and behaving always came with, in my opinion, right? Like my parents, they took us to church religiously, and it was every Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday, right? So you knew, like, if you go out here in this world and you act crazy, you're not going to get to heaven.
That's what that whole statement, they put the fear of God in you, came from. You're right. Exactly.
Yeah. And these kids, without knowing that there's like rewards for good behavior all through your life, like they got nothing to work towards.
They get it all right now. You're right. Here it is. You have it. It's yours now. Abuse me. Let's go. That's fact. You're right, Clue. 100%. I agree with you. And I think that's where it started. I do. I mean, even our generation, there's some people in our generation that are kind of because of that kind of shit. Okay. So what do we do at this point to help? I think because let me ask you guys a question, and that goes for everybody in chat too. Again, I'm 49, and going backwards from this point in our lives, how many times until the past 20 years, if even like 10 years, have you seen before that mass shootings happen? Do you remember that happening when we were kids?
No. Columbine. Well,
Columbine was the first one.
Yeah.
The very first. That's right. And we were all just like, what
is
this? What the hell? Okay. And then boom, 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 boom. Here they come, one after another.
Yep.
Something like that to us when we were kids happening was just like the end of the world. The end of the world. You know what's going on? And it's a daily thing now. They teach in school. They have armed teachers in our schools now. They have metal detectors in our schools now. My son has
drills too.
They have drills, right? Every so often. My
Uh-oh. What a great pose. That's amazing. Hey. Tell me a fill in for Vanna White.
What happened?
Oh, nothing.
Did I freeze?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Eddie's gone again.
Disturbed. Yeah. 100%. Like I said, when your child has to have a clear book bag to make sure he's not carrying a gun to school, come on. What is things? You know what I mean? It's bad, very bad. Sorry
or your
for my.
niece has to get a bulletproof backpack.
Oh my gosh, I saw those.
They already have them. They already have them.
Yeah.
That's the next thing. Our kids gonna have to wear bulletproof vests to school.
It's so scary. Like I sit here every day and I'm like, it is crazy when you sit and you think, I hope my kid gets home.
Yeah.
That's what I was. That's what I'm saying. When he walks,
and it's not just it's not just like Columbine situations, right? Like I've seen stories where they get in fights. Yeah. Like they fight and they will kill somebody. They don't care.
Yes, they fight to the death, not to hurt, not to maim. They try to kill you when they fight nowadays, okay?
Yeah.
And that's the whole point. And like I said, when he goes to school in the morning, you kind of hold your breath until he walks back to the door and you go, okay, we're good. It's a daily thing.
Yeah. Like my dad's a teacher and I'm, scared to send him to school every day.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why my daughter went to school. She became a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And she changed it like within a year because she just didn't like it. It was an uncomfortable situation. So now she does IT stuff. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't do that for nothing. I would not go in these schools with these bad little children for nothing.
I mean, and my dad's been a teacher for going on 37 years. And I can tell you that he used to teach in a small school and now he teaches in a bigger school, but the dynamic has totally changed.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Completely changed. And you got to kind of give props to those teachers that have stayed with it all that time because, they've stuck with it. And
well, that's why so many people are like, what happened to teachers? Why don't they care anymore? What's wrong?
A lot of people dipped out.
It's not that they don't care. It's because it's that they're afraid to care, in my opinion. I couldn't be a teacher. You're right, Clue. I'd go to jail too.
And my dad has to be careful because he's a male. And,
oh, yeah.
With the whole dress code with girls, you can't, if you're a male teacher, you can't just go up to a girl and be like, hey, you're wearing something a little too risque today, because then they can like, why are you looking at me like that? So if my dad sees something in question, he has to go to a female teacher to feel safe. He has to go to a female teacher and tell her, and then she needs to go to the female kid and say something, because a male teacher can get in trouble for that, or vice versa.
Very much so. And I was just
could get in trouble for that now.
That's another thing and I'm sorry guys, it's my internet. I've been 2 days, I'm supposed to have a tech come out here to see why it's doing this, so my apologies. I was just looking, I was telling Clue this the other day, we were talking, I was going through YouTube looking for something specific, and I scanned through and I saw at least 300 different cases of teachers being charged with assaulting their students in a sexual form. And most of them at this point are women.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Like, I told y'all something is happening to these women out here. Y'all need to quit drinking the water or something.
It's different. Everything's different. It's like back in the day. I mean, granted, I had that teacher, in high school that I thought about like, whoa, okay. She never would reciprocate, though. That's the difference. Now it seems to be the other way around, and they're going, looking at the students going, whoa, and the kids are like, hey, what's up?
Oh my gosh, you tried?
No, I didn't try. I
Well, how
thought
do you know? How do you know she wouldn't reciprocate it? I'm just curious.
because I was a
Because
kid.
they wouldn't back then. Like that
Well,
wasn't
these are kids.
No, that's not true because we did have a male
Mary Kay Letourneau.
doing that stuff. So, wow. But yeah, I'm just saying she could have responded. I don't know, but I was not crazy
You
enough
weren't
to
gonna
take that
try.
chance. Yeah.
Well, that's the other side of it, right? I brought that up for a reason. What
Yeah,
makes
I
these
get what you're saying.
kids, like what makes these kids, some little 14, 15-year-old boy think you are going to be what a 20, mid-20s to like up woman wants?
They have that gumption to be able to do that now as to where they didn't. Right.
Oh yeah.
Even here's a good example. I'm glad you said that. Okay, so you guys remember back in the day when the kids would be going down the street throwing bottles or whatever, cans or something, or they walk through your yard. There's one. They're taking their bike and cutting through your yard. You go outside and you go, hey, get out of my yard. There's a road or a sidewalk for that. Yep, yes, sir. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And they go along. You know what happens today when you do that? Right there, old man, kiss my ass. They don't care anymore. You know what I mean? And if I would have done some shit like that in my neighborhood, whoever was that person would have came down off that porch and yanked my ass in the house, beat my ass, and then drugged me home and watched my parents beat my ass.
Yeah, you did that too.
That's how that worked. Okay. You ain't allowed to do that nowadays. That's a problem. You can't even speak to kids now because then they call their parents who come down the street and shoot you, or the police come in, get involved, and that's the end of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what, like, I tell my daughter all the time, I'm like, you need to be careful who you invite to your house. Like, don't even tell people where you live.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And she doesn't. Like, I mean, I don't think she has one friend, her best friend. It's actually her ex-boyfriend, but they've been best friends since they broke up.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes over all the time. But outside of that, I think we might have had like 5 people in this house the whole time.
That's how it is with him too. Most of his friends are either on his game or in his phone. So, you know, and it's not a good thing. But what else do you do? I don't trust anybody to come in my house that I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I don't trust certain people around him. I don't, things are so different, you guys, and I wish they weren't. That's all I can say. And I think that a lot of that is what has affected a lot of this and has promoted some of this stuff to be the way it is. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's not just these kids. Like kids learn from their parents. And let me tell you, we had a situation one time where we were redoing our master bedroom. So our bed we had put in the living room, right? And one of my daughter's friends came over and her mom wanted to meet us, right? So they bring her in. Like, we didn't go to the door or anything. We didn't even know she was wanting to meet us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that heifer walked right in my house, right into the living room? And me and fiance were like laying on the bed. It's Saturday, we're chilling. We ain't got nothing to do.
Right.
And do you know that she laid on the bed in the middle of us?
What?
On God. Fiance jumped right up. And I kind of looked at her like, honey, if you have never had a good old Southern ass whooping, you best move.
Get out. Bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. Don't ever come back. See you later. Who does that?
And then I tried to explain to my daughter, I'm like, do you understand, like, if this is how her mama acts, do you not understand that this is probably going to carry on through generation? You know what I mean?
That's crazy right there. Good to see you, Philip. Thanks for joining us today, sir. Yeah, that is very weird. Who the hell does that?
I wouldn't even do that to my best friend and her husband. Like, and we talk every day. I wouldn't even do that to them. I wouldn't even go in their room.
You don't do that. That's like what KT said. What the WTF? For real? What the hell? Like, what? That's nuh-uh. Something's not right up there. I'm sorry, but that's crazy.
Yeah.
But you're raising a girl, you know what I mean? Like, it was a little girl that she brought over here. And it's like, well, look at the morality that you're putting in your own kid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-mm. I agree with KT. I didn't expect that story to go that way either. That blew my mind.
We didn't either. Trust me.
That is highly disrespectful to do that. I mean, when you walk in somebody's house, one of the first things you do is remove your shoes, typically, if they want you to, of course, so that it's respect. And then you sit down, kind of like, is it okay to sit here?
Right.
Or there? And you don't just jump in bed with them like, hey, what's up, y'all? You ready? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell?
No, and it was a whole ass wraparound couch, like in the corner. You know what I mean? I get it, like the bed's in the living room, but I mean, obviously, this is our matrimonial place, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely.
You hear me telling them that story about that lady that came over and laid down in the middle of us? Like, fiance had to walk outside. He was so right.
I could just imagine you. No way. I don't know. My wife would have done jumping jacks on her. I'll tell you that much. No way in hell. That's see what goes through somebody's mind to do that. What goes through somebody's mind to tell them that's okay to do?
But let me tell you, like it is crazy because that like she'll have friends that come over, and like if they come over and they're like, it'll always, women, we got to run the kids around. That's our job. The moms and stuff, like they will literally look at this man that I'm with. We're together. We both wear wedding rings. You know what I mean? They'll be like, oh, what does he do for work?
Mm-hmm.
And then the insurance story, I don't know if you heard that the other day. He called, we had to get new homeowners insurance. And the lady on the phone is like, are you adding anyone else to your policy? And he's like, no. Then all of a sudden she's like, well, our office is right in town. You ought to come by so we can say hey and everything. It's just 5 of us women in here, and we cook in the kitchen in the back and stuff. And I was dying because he's so oblivious. He don't know when he's being like flirted with.
It's that Cletus voice telling you.
Oh my god.
It is. It's his voice.
100%. 100%. I mean, wow. See, just people don't have any. There's no pride anymore in being respectful or respectable. You know what I mean? It's just you treat people how you would want to be treated. I'm sure hell not going to go jump in the middle of somebody's bed while they're laying in it with them. That's insane. I'm going to have to tell my wife that one. That's insane. I can see Cletus too. Like, the hell are you doing? Bye.
Oh, I hopped straight up at that bed.
Yeah, he got right.
I was just like, I don't even.
What else could you do? You know what I mean?
Well, it's like if this were a man, I know exactly what would happen.
Yeah, that's different.
And it's like I don't. I don't know. It's the most uncomfortable I think I've probably ever been, though.
It would have to be. It would have to. I feel bad I'm embarrassed for you guys. That's insane. That's crazy. Wow. Now, that's one thing I noticed in chat too. And I have a child, and I don't want to say that has any bearing on it, but one of the things that I have noticed is there's a lot more special needs within children as they grow than there was unless it was just unrecognized when we were kids. ADHD, ODD, the autism thing, Asperger's, all of those things were undiagnosed per se, maybe, or just not there when we were younger. And I wonder if that plays any part in any of this stuff going on nowadays either. If it's undiagnosed and untreated, does it leave cause for other things to happen that typically wouldn't?
I think ADHD, though, a lot of times, like if you look at the quality of parents today, they almost want to have their kid diagnosed that way so they don't have to deal with them being a kid.
That's partly true. I can agree with you on that. Now, like Caden is chronic ADHD, severe, with oppositional defiant disorder, and he's on the spectrum slightly. Very high functioning, obviously. You guys have seen him. But he also, like, in school, cannot comprehend, he could sit and go through a whole math lesson, right? Walk out of the class to a next one, and it's gone. It's not there. He didn't retain any of that, okay? Now, I had that problem when I was a kid, too. But back then, we were just called bad kids. There was no ADHD back then, okay? And we didn't have the medications because they didn't know what it was. So I don't know if it's made anything different, but
I was just called hyper.
That's what we were, hyper or bad. You know what I mean?
But I've seen it though, where you do have just a hyper youngin,
and they get medicated.
They give them medicine.
Yes, and it's not ADHD, it's not ADD, it's not autism, it's not this. They're just hyperactive. Okay, it happens. They're being a boy, a 3-year-old, 4-year-old boy. So you have to really be able to differentiate that, and the doctors love it because here you go. Here's a script. Here's that. Here's an office visit. Pay me for this. Pay me for that. It all goes back to money, and it's crazy. So it's a very thin line, in my opinion. But it always made me wonder: does it relate to any of this? Because I have adult ADHD. I know I do. Okay, you guys have seen it. But the oppositional thing, I never knew what that was.
I don't even know what that is.
Oppositional defiant disorder is when it basically what a bad kid is. I had it. There's a diagnosis for it now. You can look at the sky and tell your child that sky is blue, and he's going to go, nope, it's green, but it's blue. Nope, it's green. Anything you say, they're going to argue with you on, no matter what it is. It's being a bad kid. That's what it was. When I was a kid, I argued about everything that was said to me. Thank you, Philip. That was very nice of you. I'm sure she appreciated it. But they gave it a diagnosis, but there's no medication for it. Okay, so it's just being a kid is what it is. Because kids are going to argue no matter what you say to them. Very few don't, but it's got a title now. Okay, so they don't like authority. That's the thing. All of my boys, I had 5 boys that I made. Okay, I'm sorry, 3. I didn't make all 5. 2 of them are stepchildren. But anyway, 3 boys that I made have the same exact things that I have. ADHD with the oppositional defiant disorder. Only one of them is on the spectrum. And the 2 older boys, like I said, the one that was the problem child and the oldest one, they're all just like I was. They're just worse. Because their mother, the creature, had whatever creature issues she has. Just being a creature, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Never had any diagnosis from that side of things. But it does make you wonder if it does have anything to do with some of these things as well, because a lot of this stuff goes undiagnosed. But at the same time, like Lou said, sometimes people are getting medicated and diagnosed with things that they're just being kids with,
Well, and they're so quick to diagnose kids these days too.
Well, that's because of big pharma. Because as soon as you diagnose somebody, you get to write a script.
Yep, and you get money.
You know what I mean? There it is. So it's a scary thing, guys. What has happened to our world is it's just scary. Thank you, Zelda, very much. That's another thing too. People were very dependent, Victoria. I agree with that. They are too dependent on another person. That's true too. That's happened a lot. My child has autism with PDA, which is sort of something that the man who can't be engaged. Yeah, I've seen and heard about that too. KT, I'm sorry. I'm using that shit. What's wrong with them? They got creature issues, right? It is what it is. You guys know how I feel about her. It is what it is. Sorry. Let's see. Doodle said the new pussification of America. That's another thing too. That has happened as well. Everybody is ultra sensitive. And they've allowed for that though. We've allowed for that. Everything offends everybody.
Yep.
That's a problem to me. I'm sorry. I don't know how anybody feels about that. And I'm not trying to be rude at this point in time and offend anybody, but it's fact. Everything is offensive. So, it's all these things go into a big basket that everybody hops around, carrying around with them every day and goes, here's my problems. Do you want some? Whatever. I would never want to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist ever these days. I couldn't.
No, I wouldn't. You'd have so much money. You'd be so busy you couldn't even sit down.
Sure, you'd have the money, but would you want to deal with that, honestly?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, no way.
Obviously, I can listen to anyone talk for hours.
But do you know the percentage?
Oh, the itchy and I got an itch, guys.
Do you know how high the percentage is of counselors and psychologists that need therapy?
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely.
Brian Hoffman, he was a drug and alcohol counselor, and he himself has stated that he needed his own therapy. So, you know, it is what it is, guys. They take on the world's problems, and then who takes on theirs? You know?
Right.
It's insane. It is insane. What did Victoria say here? Oh, sorry. Not only that, they go buy books and don't listen to the person. Yeah, that's true too. Got to be careful what you say. 100%, guys. Having a male cop in your life and women around you find out what your significant other does, and these women can really get mean. And yes, that's fact too. Clue has said that herself, that
they're far worse than men. I don't know why men have this bad rap. Like maybe back in the day it wasn't that way, but there has been some sort of
it's a stigma on men now.
Well,
there's
definitely
been a switcheroo.
Exactly. Like I know, like I've had female friends, and you want to talk about running around on their person, they do that more. And God knows a woman can lie and take it to her grave and never, ever come out with the truth. And women are just sneaky because I think we're smarter. No offense to men, but like maybe multitasking and keeping up with a lot of things at one time and never really losing your place. And I think that people look at women still like these innocent, won't do anything wrong creatures, where men have, like JC said, gotten this like awful stigma about them. And it's not 100% right all the time to me.
Give me 1 second, guys. It's Mr. Stego. I'll be right with you.
Think from both sides of the brain at the same time. Hold on. What? Oh, I wondered why that chat wasn't moving as fast. That's crazy. Paper on the clipboard about mental health. I put it, yeah, like that's the thing, right? Every time you go to the doctor, they ask you, have you been depressed? Had little to no interest in doing your normal things, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, like I'm happy. We're good. It's all good. Turn around every now and then I get a little bit. I gotta learn the words to that if that's gonna be my song.
Sorry.
It always comes back when I sing. See how I do that?
What did you say?
I said you always come back when I started singing.
Well, I couldn't hear it, but I'm sure it wasn't that bad.
Okay, I can see you.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, yeah, I'm definitely going to be doing a mental health show. And when I do it, guys, it's going to be talking about different types of mental health issues, and a lot of it's going to be giving outreach numbers and scenarios and things like that. I'm really trying hard to get Draw to join me. Doc Terry was going to join me at some point too. I don't know if I'll still be able to, if she's still available or whatnot, but at this point, it's been a while. So I think I'm just going to break down and put it together and do it because it's something that needs to be regular. They need to be regular. Dinky's doing his own version of them too. So, you know, I talked about it a year ago and it just hasn't happened because I can't line up anything with anybody. I had a couple people I was going to bring in with work, but at this point we just need to do it. So that will be happening relatively soon. I think it's a good idea. You know, people go through things on a regular basis that they don't always know how to handle or who that they can reach out to help them handle things. So I think it's a good idea. I see the whole blaming men thing, so on and so forth. You know, part of that's my wife told me she thought because she, like I said, she's got 2 degrees in psychology, that she agrees with you on that whole thing, Clue, about, you know, there's women out there that have taken advantage of that situation and men get a bad rap per se. And basically she says that it's because it's been allowed for so long that men have the stigma that they have, because back in the day it was men were all assholes basically because of their lives, and it was allowed to be what it was. So you know what I mean? I believe that that's probably true. So I don't know.
I just feel like at some point there's got to be something that happens that just resets people. Like, I don't know if it's like the internet knocks out, which would be bad for YouTubers, but like the internet knocks out, there's some kind of famine, and people realize what it actually means to survive, be alive. That way they become in turn grateful for that.
You know, I always said a while back that they should take the internet away from everybody, including our phones. We need like house phones again, but
yeah,
2 days a week, just 2 days a week. Okay. And just let us live like we used to and see how that goes. Cause we survived it. And I love the 80s and the 90s.
Oh gosh, yes.
It was the best time of my life.
Awesome. Like, we are awesome people.
These young
kids don't know that, but we really are. Like, and it's crazy because I like stupid random facts, right? That you'll never need in life. We know these things because we didn't have anything to do. There was no phone. If you wanted to watch TV, you had to sit down and watch what your parents were watching. It might be some special on Discovery, but you're going to learn everything you can about elephants in that hour.
We didn't even have Discovery at that time, and we had PBS. That was the Discovery back then, and I hated PBS. We had 21, 27, and 33. Unless you got your parents were had a little bit of money and you got lucky enough to have cable. That was it. And like I said, all the things that we used to look forward to, like I was telling a story before, not to get off subject, but it kind of helps a little bit. When I was 13, 14 years old, my sister's 6 years younger than me. We used to look forward to Fridays. And here's why. Every Friday was payday for both my parents, okay? And combined, you know, they made okay money. But we weren't rich. So every Friday we would go to, it was called First Row Video back then, VHS, okay? And we would rent a VCR because we couldn't afford to buy one at that time. We would rent a VCR for 2 days, and then we would go around the store, all of us, and we'd pick out 4 or 5 VHS tapes. Then we would go across the street to the plaza where the original Little Caesars Pizza existed, not this one now, but the original. And we would rent the pizza. You got 2 for 1 deal in that big thing, and it was way better tasting then. We would rent those movies and the VCR and the pizza, and we would get a couple bags of chips, a couple 2 liters of Pepsi or whatever. And we would go home, and that's what we would do for Fridays and Saturdays. And it was exciting to work up to that for the week because you knew you were going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's gone. There is no waiting or wanting because all you got to do is say, okay, a new movie comes out, right? Great. Let me see. Okay, let's go watch it. That's it. There's nothing to look forward to anymore because we don't have to wait. Everything's given to us on a silver platter, basically, that we want because of all this. I can find anything that we need to find like that Okay. I mean, money is still money, but either you have it or you don't. The thing is the build up and the excitement of earning things and working up to a situation and being able to, you know, be excited about something or I mean, it was just it's all so much different now, and it's changed people's mentalities to the point where we expect certain things now, and I'm guilty of that as well. You know, if I get up in the morning, this has happened, and I go to make my coffee and I turn my TV on and it doesn't come on because my internet's out. Oh shit. Look out.
Oh yeah.
Watch out. Okay. I become the creature that I was married to for a couple hours until I figure out what the hell is going on. God forbid we have an outage because my company sucks. Okay. Or if you don't pay your bill or whatever it is, guys, and it happens, we go insane because we can't just go to that at that moment like we're used to. Before, it's either on TV or it's not. Deal with it or go find something else to do. Put a puzzle together. You know, play cards, play a family game, or whatever it is, guys. We don't do that anymore because we have this. If I want any kind of entertainment, here it is. I mean, I truly think that they should take it from us for 2 days a week. And I know people are going to have blowouts, okay? But I think it would be a good thing. I really do, especially for the kids. They would have to go outside. My son has a basketball hoop. He's got skateboards. He's got a bike. He's got everything, okay? When do you think the last time he was outside doing any of that stuff was?
Well, that's one thing I will say about our daughter. Like, and we have some neighbors that moved in, and I think they've got 2 boys, and their dad was over here talking about they never go outside. They just play games and stuff. And it's like, our kid, it's not an option. Like every summer on the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Like we have to mow our yard every weekend. And it's like, you know, over 2 acres. So she is out there helping. I don't care if you got something here you want to be doing, somebody to talk to. And she has to do chores, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Caden's
and it's like, I just thought, like, when that guy said that, I'm like, they never go out. Why don't you make them go outside? Like, they got dirt bikes and all kinds of stuff.
You're the parent. That's right. That's part of the problem right there.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it is almost a situation where these parents don't say, look, give me your freaking phone, give me your tablet, give me your watch, go outside. And like my daughter and her best friend, he and she in the summertime, they'll go and swim in the creek, and they spend pretty much all day out there. And we have to go get them when it's like time to come in because they just lose. It's good that they really do still get to be like kids, even though they're freaking grown.
I mean, when I was young, my grandma took me to the swimming pool every day, or I went with my cousins, and we would swim.
Yep.
All day, 1 to 5, 6 to 8, you know.
Okay. We have this still. 17 years old, okay? This is his chores checklist. Do your homework. Dirty clothes in the basement where the washer and dryer goes. If laundry needs done, put your load in. Take out trash. Do any dishes that you have made dirty. This is his stuff, and he's got a couple that he has to do every day, okay? Sweep the floors, water. He does the animals, water and feed the animals. Pick up anything you see laying around that shouldn't be, and keep your room clean. So the only thing that he has to do every day himself is keep his own room clean and feed and water the animals. These other things pertain to him personally, like for his own clothes and stuff like that. So the fact that I had to do this to remind him was a problem, but it's part of his issue, I guess. He gets mad about this one, but we had to tell him he's a 17-year-old boy. Hygiene checklist. Brush your teeth, take a shower, put on deodorant, brush your hair, put on clean clothes, take pride in your appearance. Girls don't like smelly and dirty. That was my daughter-in-law that wrote that out for me. It worked. Okay, he's 17 now. He's like, what do you mean? I said, dude, I don't know about what it is about teenage boys, but I was very metrosexual, if that's the right term. Okay.
I can believe that.
I very much so was. I was worried about this and cologne always and deodorant. Do I stink? This and that. I was very worried about, in fact, even up to the point where I met my wife, she thought I was gay because I was that way. Okay. Don't make no comments, Cletus. But I couldn't understand him being that way because I was that way. And it's just like, you have to take pride in everything. And I've been trying to teach him that. He's very lazy. Like in the summertime, it's different. He will go play basketball. He will go outside. We have a pool. Okay. But he still would rather sit in the air conditioning in front of YouTube on the TV on his phone or on a game. Enough. Like I said, so I had to make a rule. You're allowed to do that, especially in the summertime, 3 days a week. That's it. Sorry, Michelle. It is what it is. Now see, one of my older sons, he was like me. The other one he was like this one. Okay. And he's still that way. He's married and everything. And he still, it's like, just does what he feels like to do. So, I don't know. But anyway.
I mean, our kid's that way. You got to tell her to empty the dishwasher, load it. You got to tell her, God knows the trash is always full. And you got to tell her, take the darn trash out. You know what I mean? So
the dish thing, he complains. I'm like, bro, all you got to do is load and unload a dishwasher. We didn't have a dishwasher. I was the dishwasher. Okay.
Yeah.
This is me. You don't do that. All you do is move things from one place to another. Deal with it. Come on. It is what it is. But there's a lot of things that are different that I really wish they weren't. And these kids nowadays, if they only knew, is all I can say. Like I said, you're cowboy sexual. Okay, Duke. That's a new one.
I was reading that myself going, I don't even know what that is, but okay.
That's funny though. We had a great time, I thought, back in those days. I did. I loved my life. Best time of my life.
Yeah.
And they get upset because of these minimal, ridiculous, crazy bullshit things. And it's like, you have no clue what hard is like,
No.
I mean, they have no idea. My life is so hard. I'm so this one. He'll come home from school, right? First thing he does is eat something. Well,
Yep.
I did that too. I get it. He's big and all that, and then he sits down and then he falls asleep. And I'm like, wake up. What are you doing? I'm tired. I said, from what? I was in school all day.
You're like literally talking about our kid.
Doing what, bro? Like, my legs hurt. You were sitting on your ass all day long doing how do your legs hurt?
Because they have to walk from class to class. I went to a 4-story high school and you couldn't use the elevator.
Yes. Same here. I hated, and I had classes on the first floor.
Yep.
And the third floor. I get it.
And the locker was nowhere near where it needed to be.
It was at the other end of the school down there. Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. They have no idea what's hard. No idea at all. Who just said that? Somebody said we live in a.
All I'm saying is they need to promote FFA club more.
That's true. I will say that our daughter, she was having a huge problem with responsibility. She doesn't think she's spoiled. Okay. When she was 14, she got her first car, and it's a 2012, I think, Camaro Super Sport convertible. But she doesn't think she's spoiled, right? So we had to.
Hell no.
We had to instill in her the value of money, right? So we took her one summer, I think it was 2 summers ago. We spent every waking minute outside. We dug a garden. Like I'm talking about, she dug the garden by hand. We dug a pond because I wanted koi fish. And I mean, she did all of it. And it almost was like okay, so this life after I get out of school is just going to be a big pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's a joke. The first car I owned was when I was 18, and it was a Chevette with 3 wheels. Figure that out, okay? That I paid for from working 2 jobs at 16.
Well, just to be clear, we didn't get her that car. My dad did. He bought that for her because he wanted one. And then he was like, when she starts driving, I'll just give it to her. But I mean,
no, I understand.
I was the same way. Like I had a car at 14, but
I would do the same thing with my grandkids now. And that's part of what the problem is, because we do spoil. Like, you guys have met my granddaughter. There's nothing in this house that she can't have. I'm sorry. And I'll give it to her if I have to break my back to give it to her. That's just what happens. But they don't understand. It's like I'm saying that we had to work for all that shit. Oh, well, you didn't with your car, but like everything else though in our lives, we've worked to get the best that we can to give to our kids. So in some senses, I guess, yes, we've spoiled our kids. And as parents go, I always felt that our parents always want their kids to have a little bit more than each that they had, and a little bit more than what they had, and a little bit more. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's just being a parent. You love your kids. You want them to have more and do better than you did, period. I get it. But at some point, I think they've been given too much, like,
oh yeah,
we have a riding mower because I have 3.5 acres of land out here. And we have a push mower too for the smaller areas, right? So I know what I'm about to tell you. So in the smaller areas that the riding mower don't fit, this kid does push mow stuff too, okay? I do the riding thing because I like it. And he wants to get on the riding mower and do the corners by the house and around trees on a riding mower. And I'm like, do you know that thing that has the handle that you walk behind? That's what that's for. Well, how come you get to sit on this and do? I said, because it's for all the big stuff out here, okay? You don't need the riding mower to go around a tree, bro. Well, I have to walk and then I sweat. Oh, I'm so sorry. That stuff in that clear shit there, that water, that helps. Drink some. It ain't gonna hurt you. I'm just saying. I get so pissed off sometimes. It blows my mind.
I use a real mower. You ever seen one of them where
yes,
it don't?
I had one a long time ago. I call them an Amish mower.
Yeah, I use that in the backyard, right? Because the grass just looks better, and it's like such a small area. You need to really watch how you cut it and stuff. But the fiance and I, we get a little anal about our yard. Like we would get down there, we would clip the backyard with scissors where it came over the concrete. He'd have a pair, I'd have a pair. It's our backyard gathering area. You know what I mean?
I don't use scissors, but I have little trimmer things that I've done that with too. I get it. Scissors is a bit much. I understand though. I have to cut my grass in angled patterns different every week because it leaves it. Yeah. But here's the other thing. Like that mower broke, the riding mower. Well, guess who had to push mow the whole yard? You want to talk about, like, I almost had to put him in the hospital over that. It was bad. He thought he was going to die. He couldn't do it. It was really, really bad. Very bad. So he sweated a little bit and he got wet and then he needed to shower. So I guess he is a little bit like I was, but hard work is a good thing. You feel good when you do it. You know what I mean? I used to love doing the push mower. I did it all the time. It was a good feeling. That's how I made my money when I was 13, 14 years old, was mowing everybody's yards around the neighborhood. So,
well, and again, I swear it is something about, like, you can't just blame these children as much as I want to. You can't do that. Like our daughter's best friend, her ex-boyfriend, whatever, like his mom will talk to me all the time, and she talks about how no one ever helps with laundry, no one ever helps with dishes, no one ever does this. And I'm like, you got 3 boys living in your house. The fact that you don't get help with that is because you won't I will be gosh darned
We got friends like that too that complain about all that, and I'm like, you got 3 kids. Did they do chores? Well, I don't really think that they should have to do. Excuse me? What the hell is wrong with you? Did they live in the house? Did they eat? Did they take a shit in the bathroom? Do they sleep in a bed in the house? How old are they? Okay. I got a good therapist.
Their excuse ain't even their excuse ain't even that. It's they literally say they won't. I'm sorry, what?
You know what?
I wish you would look at me as my child and say you're not gonna do something.
Yep.
Watch.
That's a joke. That's funny. That's what I'm saying. Kids are like that. They won't do it. Bullshit, they won't. I bet you they do in my house. Bring them to me for a week. See how they come back to you.
Well, it's crazy too, because he comes over here and like I'll tell her, clear the table off or go set the table or something, and he'll be like, you need any help? And she's just flabbergasted. She's like, I wish he would do that stuff over here. And I'm like, well, I mean, he knows I don't play.
My son does that at other people's houses. He won't do it here unless we make him do it, but they know. Like all my other 6 kids, they're all grown now. They know. And it teach. Listen, guys, if you don't make your kids do chores or teach them these things, they don't learn how to take care of themselves as adults. That's part of the problem. They don't. I know adults that don't know how to, like, that are my kids' age, their friends. They don't know how to cook, do laundry, make doctor's appointments for themselves, put gas in the car. Like, what the hell? Why? Where were your parents at when those things were being supposed to be taught to you? You know what I mean? That's part of growing up. Your parents teach you these things and then you do it.
But they don't. Like, that's the problem.
That's where the problem is right there. You're right. That's insane. I wish. No, nope. Somebody ever would have told me, nope, I ain't doing that. Guess what? I'll let you sleep in the garage then. That's where you can stay. Because you ain't gonna live in my house and tell me, especially at teenage age, no. Nope. They got to learn direction. They got to learn responsibility. They got to learn how to wash their own clothes. Somebody told me one time, you make your kids wash their own clothes?
Yeah.
They wear their own clothes, don't they? I ain't washing my boy. I got 5 boys in this house. You think I'm touching them underwear? Nope. Sorry. Ain't happening. Of course I make them wash their own clothes. If they break my washing machine, they're going to buy me another one. That's what she was worried about. What if they ruin the washer? Well, you go downstairs and you show them how to do it.
It's crazy.
That simple.
You make your kids wash their own clothes.
I couldn't believe that.
Especially a girl too, right? Because
oh yeah, no.
If it's
nope.
We're not going there. If you want to take care of a man one day, you got to know how to take care of a house, if that makes any sense. So
bingo. Thank you.
Hey guys, I gotta jump down quick, but because I gotta go to work. But
okay,
I will say this: I had very minimal chores as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had to keep my bedroom clean. I unloaded the dishwasher because I literally refused to load it, and I cleaned the bathrooms. So those were like my main chores.
That's good
so
though.
I wasn't like expected to do laundry and take out the trash and
right,
all that. But I can say to this day, I procrastinate on my chores.
Because of I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I mean, it didn't really do me a lot of good. And the reason that it happened is because Mom always just, I would always like back talk her to do it. I would always argue with her and tell her I didn't want to do it and whatever. Yeah. And it was just easier for her to do it rather than expect me to do it.
That's a problem, right?
That is a problem, but it didn't do me in the long run any good because, as I say, today I still procrastinate on doing my chores.
My wife is the same. She argued with her mother, my mother-in-law that lives with us, about doing dishes. And would fight it every time. And and laundry. And guess who doesn't like to do that to this day?
Your wife.
Bingo. So yeah.
But nobody, I mean, I don't know of anyone that likes to do laundry. I mean, it's not the funnest thing. but it's still a chore that has to be done. It still
I'm
has
weird.
to be done.
I'm weird. I love folding laundry. I don't know why. I'm very OCD, and everything's a thing. So,
Well, it's not that part. Well, I don't fold my clothes, but it's just it just is daunting to me to have to put all in the basket and then put them in the laundry in the wash and then change them to the dryer. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of a but my favorite part is when the laundry's all done and I have clean clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
I don't know why. I'm neurotic. I like folding laundry because I like it to be done a certain way.
Yeah.
It's one of them things.
I feel her pain. I want one of those washing machines that does it all. It washes it and then it dries it. You don't have to move it over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, those are cool. They're stupid expensive, and if it breaks, then you're screwed. But I get it. I do.
I mean, it costs like what my washer costs. My washer and dryer costs. So it's like, it's really not like you can find them for the price of a regular washer and dryer.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I haven't looked at them in a long time because the last time I looked at them, they were stupid astronomical. So,
yeah. But I just wanted to say that before I jump down. But I will listen and chat. Okay, guys.
Okay, hon. Thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate your input, JC.
Have a good day, guys.
Bye, JC.
Bye.
Gary, I'll send you a message on how to do it. There's a way. My mods might be able. Brandy's probably the best one to talk to about that. Once you have been gifted a membership, if you want to continue, I think there's a link you can click on, and it will just give you that option. It's pretty easy, but I don't know how to do it because they set it up. So I'll have to look into it, and if I can come up with the idea, if Brandy doesn't give it to you, if she can't, then I'll figure it out and give it to you, Gary. But thank you for asking, and I appreciate you being in the community as well. I noticed that she's not feeling very well today, I guess. So I will check it out for you, Gary. And it should be, I think there's just a link if you go into my channel itself, not where we're at, but like the dashboard of my channel, click on my channel, and then you'll see like community and stuff like that. I think there's a link in there that says members. And if you click on that right below it, there's a little thing and it should show you exactly what to do. That's the way I think it works. Because I've never become a member of my community. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you have problems with that, Gary, at that point, just let me know. So I think it was a good talk today. It's very interesting. Very interesting. So again, guys, I think that this guy, there's definitely something wrong in a lot of ways, in my opinion. So hopefully he doesn't get to use the temporary insanity scenario and he has to pay for what he's done. Again, I think that's another thing, guys, is that they do it a whole lot. People if you're going to commit these crimes, you need to do the time for it, period. Punishment should be equal. Well, that sounds a bit dramatic, but in some senses, I think it should be equal to the crime. I agree with that. So, you guys have anything else to add to this? I haven't even heard Cletus other than his laugh.
No.
No, I've been working. Sorry.
Whatever, bro. You think your job's more important to me? It is what it is. I'm just kidding. Either way. Well, thank you, Clue. JCN, thank you so much for joining us up here today. I appreciate you. You had a lot of good points, Clue. I agree with you on a lot of that stuff too. Everybody in chat was very, very interactive today, and I really appreciate all your guys' input on these things and everybody's stories and feelings. And it seems like everybody kind of is in the same boat, has the same feelings, and most of us are around the same age. So, and it's not just here. Michael's over in the UK. A couple people are and have the same issues and the same feelings on the same things. So it's the world today, folks. I guess we're the ones that got to fix it if we want to. Again, Clue and Cletus and JC, thank you for joining me up here today. I appreciate you always. Thank you, Doodle, and thank you, Zelda, for posting that. Everybody in chat.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. I will talk to you guys very soon.
Yep. Bye, chat.
Bye-bye. Everybody in chat, once again, thank you so much for joining us today. You guys are amazing people. Today is what? Tuesday? You guys might see me tonight. I don't know. We'll see what happens when the boss gets home. Again, guys, thank you so very much for your input. Anybody that donated to support the channel, thank you for that. God bless. Anybody that's here just to support the channel, that means more than anything to me. Thank you for that as much. You guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. What was I going to say? Oh, don't forget, you guys, to love yourselves, to love each other, and don't change a thing about yourselves, because you guys are the beautiful people. I love each and every one of you guys, and I will see you all on the other side. Have a great day, folks. Bye-bye.